Thank you, because you kept ruining the game.
No, I wasn't ruining the game. I was making it better. All right, babe.
Oh my god.
I was making it better.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm babysitting Cowboy, Sabrina and Shauna's dogs. They're in Thailand. Yeah. And he got mad at me yesterday and pooped in my room.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but I couldn't be mad at him.
Did they? We went to Thailand?
Yeah, they're probably still in air somewhere. Uh-huh. They got first class tickets for $600.
Huh?
But it's 2 days. It's like to Hong Kong, to Bangkok, to some island. And then they're all in first class, and they have someone in economy with the baby because the babies aren't allowed in first class.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So who do they fly? Who do they fly economy?
This girl Lara, who used to be Shauna's assistant. They asked me to go and cancel this week to babysit, and I was like, "You're so rude."
Hey, how was the turnout from the special?
For what? In what way?
Has it been good?
Oh yeah, people like it. I've gotten some good things. I also don't get notifications from people who don't follow me, so I don't see the bad stuff.
I stopped using Twitter.
Well, yeah, I'm under attack right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, some racist tweets have come out because I went on MSNBC and talked about Bernie. Yeah. Because that was the topic they gave me, and people are like finding old tweets, tagging the tweets to everyone Asian and Black that follows me. They think Hillary Clinton paid me to go on it.
Did she? Let's break that here. That sucks. You know what?
I was just scared about my friends, and all of my friends of color and everyone's messaged me. They're like, "We know who you are. You're fine."
Yeah, I fucking definitely know who you are. That's ridiculous. But
they are bad. There's an N-word in there. I mean, they're bad.
Oh, for real?
Oh, bad Asians. Like 18 Asian tweets. Indian guys have tiny dicks. Bad.
Oh my God.
And my Asian friend was with me when I found out, so he had to delete all my Asian tweets. He's like, "What?" I was like, dating an Asian is like dating someone with one arm. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, just bad.
I've said horrible stuff. Yeah. I've said the N-word. I said it on Tom's podcast, and I stand by me saying it because it's a funny fucking joke. I still to this day, I wish I could tell it on stage.
No, I'm humiliated. I'm fully humiliated.
Yeah, but that's here's the thing.
Because then I was like, I'm humiliated. Like, these suck. Sorry, guys. And then people are like, this isn't real. You're not really sorry. A lot of death threats. I don't know. I'm just like, you guys. I'm just a comic. I was just excited to go on. It makes me sad.
Is it
that I was an idiot? Like, they're so bad.
But here's my thing: is that no one is perfect. No one is perfect. That's why I always stand by comedians. I've never once turned my back on a comedian. Even guys that hate me, that post about me nonstop, I still stand by their freedom of speech and them trying to make a joke. And jokes are so hard to fucking do. Our only goal is to make people laugh. That's it. That's our only thing. That's
the thing. It's like, I wrote none of those in a malicious way, but they're bad. I'm like, human.
Yeah, but that was what. I haven't seen any of the tweets. Obviously, I'm not on Twitter, and
that's smart.
I didn't know about Hillary or Bernie, and I'm not a political guy.
Same. I was asked to be on MSNBC.
I'm assuming without knowing what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I will already assume.
Yeah.
That you were being, whatever you were saying or said.
Yeah.
Was to be outrageous and funny.
Yeah, basically the segment's Fallback Friday, where you pick. They give you 4 topics. Whatever one you don't like, you go fall back, dude. And so it was Bernie. It was like Pelosi's pink suit, but I loved her suit. I didn't want to talk about it. One was about Instagram husbands, and I love that. What's
Instagram husbands?
Basically, lots of girls make money off just posting photos on Instagram. So a lot of husbands have quit their jobs to just travel with their girlfriends and wives.
I love that.
And take photos of them with lighting and help them with their outfits and carry stuff.
Fuck.
So I
want an Instagram wife.
Yeah, well, that's what they said. They said that's like a genderless thing. That's what they're called. But you can be.
I want my wife to be my Instagram husband. My wife is my Instagram husband.
Yeah, it's like, so I was like, I don't want to shit on them. Like, that's fun. And then the other topic was the Fiji girl, who I loved too. But I was like,
the Fiji girl that was in all the pictures.
I think she's hysterical.
I love it. Here's my problem, right? Like I want you to finish. I'm the exact opposite of Sebastian. So Sebastian, his take on everything is he sees the negative side of it. He gets offended by things.
Yeah.
But it's a joke. Obviously, everything he does is a joke. I'm the exact opposite.
I loved her. I just shat on all the celebs that didn't like her. I'm like, she's an unknown model who got more attention than you. Get over it. The only thing that's bad is like, wasting plastic. But I thought she was like chic and fun, and I just loved everything about her, and I thought she was funny. And then the other topic was Bernie, so I was like, I don't really like him, so I'll just tell him to go away because he's old and ugly. And then people are just like,
it's a joke.
And then people are like, you know nothing. You don't have a grasp on politics. God. I'm like, neither do any of us. Are you out of your mind? Unless you majored in political science.
No one has.
I don't believe you. You're reading the same garbage I'm reading. I don't know anything. I never even mentioned Hillary. I've just also... I've been doing comedy 10 years. No one really knows who I am. So no one cares what I say most of the time. So I just go on podcast. I just chit chat constantly. No one knows who I am.
I remember those
I'm
days.
not successful. This clip all of a sudden got like 1 million views and people were into it. Like a lot of people were like, hell yeah, I got a lot of fun. Like I see no lies. Like so cool. Like Black Twitter was going nuts. I was so excited. I was like, oh, cool. I didn't even watch it. I was like, I guess people liked what I said. I went to eat foie gras afterwards to celebrate. I was excited to meet Chef Tom Colicchio. That's like, he's one of my idols. So all I kept thinking about is, I can't believe I get to meet Tom. I didn't care about anything else. And then the next day I wake up and it's just like all my racist tweets I've ever had. People, I also had a carbon monoxide issue at my house. We had squatters break into our basement and set up generators and almost kill us. So people were like, die bitch, your fumes are your karma. And I don't go on Twitter. And then Tom Colicchio is tagged in all of them. So my hero, who I was...
Tom Colicchio Asian?
No, he's not.
That would be bad.
No, he's like a cool
He's
chef.
a one-armed Asian cook.
Oh my God. They're just so bad. So my apology was sincere. And then people are like, your apology is not sincere. And it's like, I can't win these people over. Because I am really sorry. I'm horrified. I am embarrassed. Because if I stood by them, I'd be like, I stand by these, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I knew not to use the N-word in 2016. Like, I knew that. I knew it.
You didn't. Once again, I didn't see the tweets. I can't say anything about that.
And then a couple of my Black friends have texted me and they're like, we love you, you're cool, but can you just never do that again? I'm like, of course, this is awful.
Well, it's you're part of the woke generation.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with it. I think it's like good to grow as a culture and put people's feelings into the forefront. Like I just didn't understand, because some of my tweets are like, we can say the bad word for trans and gay. I was like, I used them and I was like, we could say it, whatever, we're just comedians. And now I would never advocate for that. And it's like, I don't know, but they're there. There's no excuses. It's just they're out there.
Things were very different. Things were different.
But also these people don't care. It's not like they care about inequality in the world. They just want to ruin my life.
Okay,
that's the thing.
Let's reverse engineer this a little bit. Who is, because I know you've been vocal about the Me Too movement.
Of course, yeah.
And
well, that's another thing, and I know I can't control the way people think, and also this might be too self-centered to think people are caring about it at all or thinking about me, but I'm so rude to so many white guys, and I hate so many of their misogynistic jokes.
Wait, comics?
Yeah, I hate so many comics. But
Ari loves you, by the way.
I love
Ari
him and sometimes hate him.
Ari loves you.
He
loves
texted me. It was really nice.
Ari loves you.
I love him too, but he annoys me for sure. And his fans hate me a lot. But
really?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I have vocal fry. So a lot of people are like, you dumb vocal fry valley girl, But I love Ari, but every time I love him, he says or does something, I'm like, I fucking hate you. But then he'll do something, I'm like, you're the fucking best.
But that's
what people are.
That's like the family we have with comics.
Yeah.
Is like, there are guys that drive me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I always have their back before anyone else's.
Yeah. So a part of me is also feeling insecure that a bunch of comics are like, that apology was oh, how do you like that? You're trying to, probably no one cares about me, but that's another thing I'm like thinking about too. A lot of smug people that are like, yeah, bitch,
I think that's a lot of what this culture is.
But I've also learned a lot because I think I don't think I was sympathetic to people. I really don't. I think this has taught me so much, because I remember when John Galliano got fired from Dior because he was drunk and said a bunch of things about Jews.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Wait, tell me about that.
This was like before even Twitter. I mean, this was like 15 years ago, I think. But he is a designer and he's like very talented. And he was working at Dior. And then a video came out of him being wasted, talking shit about Jewish people. And he lost his job and he's really been shunned from the fashion industry. And I remember being like, yeah, fuck that. I don't give a fuck. And like, I think I've been one of those people that are too quick to be like, you're wrong. And so this has been an eye-opening thing where I'm just like, yeah, if I saw anyone else with these tweets, I would think you're a terrible fucking person. And here I am not thinking I'm that, but like, that's what I wrote. So it's I've learned a lot of different things.
But you're
and some of them are out of context. Like one is to my friend. I mean, this is so bad, but I was like, by dirty, do you mean Mexican? Which is like, fuck. But it was to my friend.
By the way, that was a Sarah Silverman joke.
Oh, was it?
No. I mean, that was, she had a joke. She had a joke, not that, but her joke was, I'm not racist. I'm dating a Mexican. Would a racist date a Mexican? I think not, because they're fucking filthy. That was her joke. And like, but here's the thing: is like.
But yeah, so people are using it, and it's just like, yeah, it sounds gross, but it's like my friend. I don't know. So it has opened my eyes because I think I was part of the culture that was like,
everyone's
you're
a part
done.
of that culture.
Yeah,
everyone's a part of outrage culture. It feels good. It feels good to it feels good, and
feel like you're better than someone that you know more.
See, I was raised with a dad who I never had the right answer. Right, so like when I was a child, this was my joke about David Hogg. Remember that kid, David Hogg?
Yeah.
About the gun things. I wasn't mad at him for speaking out of gun rights. If anything, I'm jealous that his dad lets him talk out loud in public. Like my dad never let me talk out loud in public. When the Gulf War started, I came home and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. I think we should be out of the Gulf. And then my dad told me to shut the fuck up and go to my room and not come out until I had a man's opinion. And I went, okay. And then I was sat in my room. I'm like 17 years old. I'm like, I guess I'm wrong. Like I never was right about anything. To this day I have a hard time picking if it's a bunch of different stakes. I'll sometimes call my dad. But also as a comic, I always was forced, whatever I thought the initial joke was, I then would look at the other side of it. So I've always, even in social media, I look at the other side of everything. Yeah. Like when the Kevin Hart shit came down with him saying stuff that, you know, basically exactly what you did.
Yeah.
Tweeting stuff 10 years ago, I immediately I defend Kevin Hart. Immediately I defend Kevin.
Yeah.
But then, not out loud, I'd never do this to tweet, but I go to the other side and I go, how's that making them feel?
Yeah.
Was that apology a good apology?
Yeah.
And so I just don't do it online. Like I don't put out my opinions like with the Louis stuff.
Yeah.
I'll say it here. I support Louis. I
don't, because you won't talk about it. I think it's bullshit. I mean, whatever happened, it's like you're a fucking comic and everyone's like, when should he come back? How about when he can talk about it? He refuses to talk about it, and that's what pisses me off. You're a comic and you won't even mention it on stage. That's bullshit to me.
But hold on, but we would be dictating his creative process. Meaning, I'll tell you this. I was excited for him for the day he came back, because I wanted to hear his perspective,
and which he didn't share.
He didn't share. But
so sit at home until you have a perspective.
Imagine.
I'm sorry. If you take your dick out at work and you make people, like, if that happens, you get on stage and you tell people. By the way,
a lot of us took our dick out, not jacked off in front of women.
Yeah.
But if we're going to talk about things that we did
and it's
in our
messed
past,
up. Like one of my best friends was on the road with a comic and he was wasted when she was driving him and he took his dick out and was like, touch my, and she was like, no. And he was like harassing her
different.
In the car. And it's like, she never said anything about it. She probably never will. He's out there working. And it's like, it just happens all the time. And I don't think it's that crazy to change behaviors.
It's not that crazy to change behaviors. What I'm talking about is the guys that, like myself and Stanhope, that would get naked at a party and jump in the pool. What you're talking about is sexual predator.
Yes.
Like that's gross.
Yeah.
To be in a car with a woman and make her feel unsafe.
Yes.
That is not fair. That's not fair.
That's what Louis did to these people.
I think he did, and I think he did. Yeah. I personally think he did. I mean, you could say, how else were you supposed to jack off in front of people? Well, maybe just don't jack off in front of people.
Also, there's tons of people that would be totally into that. Because I worked with Louis.
A lot of them, by the way, a lot of people were. Like Sarah Silverman was. Her sister was. She said it on Stern. I'm guessing Janine was, based on her support.
Well, no, because I worked with Louis, and a lot of people are like, well, what did you think you knew about this? And I was like, yeah, and I'm a fucking pervert, and I would have fucked Louis. when he invited me to his
I
house.
love that you are on both sides of this fence on everything.
Yeah.
You're like, I remember you saying that to Bobby Kelly one time. You're like, I would have let him, I would have fucked him too.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like but that's not what he was into. It bothers me that I don't think he thinks he did something wrong. I think he thinks he's a victim of something and he won't talk about it. And that's what bothers me as like such a truth teller and a comic. And it's just like.
He did have some funny fucking jokes.
You gotta mention it.
Did you see the recent one?
No.
If you ever get caught jacking off in front of a bunch of women and you want the country to forget about it, talk about kids getting shot at schools.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, dude. I always like.
You're right. Not everything's black and white, and but no. Okay. But we're also more sensitive to the things that bother us, and that's why, like with the race shit, like I didn't understand it until a lot later in life. You need people to explain things. You need to see from people's point of view. You need to understand what's happening. And so I'm obviously more like in tune with deviant sexual behavior because so many of my girlfriends have been assaulted and abused, and
I think that's
so I'm more like I'm less forgiving, I guess, or like less gray area about those things.
So you can understand how. So being put in this situation, you definitely understand how someone who's Asian may go, I'm less forgiving about that.
100%. I mean, the tweets are bad. They're really bad.
I love that you keep just going, they're bad.
I mean, because what's funny is, because, before Netflix and stuff, I think my manager, they were like, go through your Twitter. And I went through a couple things and I was like, I was so cocky. I was like, I can't find anything. I'm searching stuff. I can't find anything. I think I'm just I was hoisted by my own petard. I swear I went through my Twitter and I went, I have nothing. I am such a cool ass person. And then I was like, oh my God, I said the N-word in 2016. Like, I can't believe it. I was really shocked. I don't think people believe that I was like shocked about it, but I was like, I really couldn't believe some of these tweets for sure.
Yeah. I
texting while driving's the new Asian. I don't know, just like wild things.
Was it a lot of Asian shit?
It was like 15 Asian jokes.
Are you serious?
So many Asian jokes, and then my Asian friend was like deleting them with his own bare hands. It was like very a goofy night.
Did you think for any second?
Yeah.
Wow, this is what Louis must have felt like.
Not Louis, but Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I mean, not Louis.
Did your thing come out
because
after
Louis
Kevin?
Also, we all knew about it. And we
all knew about it.
What's more deviant about him is like he has jokes about how men are the biggest danger to women's lives. Yeah. Like he knows about it. And there's a storyline where he like tries to keep Pamela Adlon and Louis. Like the movie was about jerking off on people. Like he knows what he was doing, knew the article was going to come out. It's like, get in front of it. Like, I guess I just don't respect that he put it in all the stuff. He's aware of it. He's a smart ass dude. He knew the article was going to come out. And also years before, like Gawker reached out to him. He just had years to be like, I'm a predator. Because a lot of the comics that I talked to are like, well, he's not Harvey Weinstein. He got lumped in when it all came out.
He did get lumped in.
And I'm like, but it's his problem. He had years to talk about it. And he knew the article was going to come out. I'm a nobody, and I knew the article was going to come out. So for him not to go ahead of it and be like, I'm sorry I did these things. I'm going to go to fucking, I don't know, class. I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to donate. Like, he didn't care until he got caught. And that's what's, it bothers me. It really bothers me.
I think that's probably, I'd write that off to human behavior, just natural human behavior of like, no one really cares until they get caught, I think.
But he knew the Times article was going to come out.
Yeah.
And he waited for it. He could have went on air. I mean, he could have went to Seth Meyers, any show. Like, he is a mega superstar. Yeah. He could have went on Howard Stern. He could have went anywhere and talked about it.
I think it still would have been just as bad. I think even if there's no getting in front of something like that. It's like Michael Richards.
Or if he came out with the Gawk.
When Michael Richards said the N-word on stage, he went on Letterman.
Yeah.
To apologize before, like, to get in front of it.
I never watched it until recently, and it's bad. It's bad.
But here's the deal. I don't stand by Michael Richards because he's not a comic. Yeah. But like,
it's hard. You're right. It's just there's a lot, and you're friends with people for decades, and you've worked with people, and you know them more, and you see more through it. But it's just like his behavior bothers me because I don't think he thinks he did anything wrong.
Who, Louis?
Yeah.
But this is a weird question. Do you like him Like, would you be, if he like called you up, would you talk to him?
I like, this is so self-involved. I want to interview him.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm a unique perspective where I like him. I liked working with him. I think he's great. But I also think what he did was fucked up. And I don't like how he's handling it. Because I think it's like, it's usually like, fuck him, he should burn and never come back.
Aziz is doing the same thing.
I don't fucking like Aziz. And I never did. He was a jerk. Like, besides this, he was like an egomaniacal lunatic who talked to no one, he doesn't treat people like people.
He's not a nice guy.
He's not nice. And then suddenly when he got caught and like thought he was going to lose everything, I was eating and he's like, oh, what are you eating? I'm like, it's quinoa. You've never spoken to me before. Like, why are you talking to me now? You know, at least it's just weird. But no, I've seen Louis once at the Cellar. I got weird. I didn't say anything to him.
Yeah.
I got uncomfortable for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't think he cares to talk to me. I don't know what his deal is. But there's a table. But also, I don't think I can be honest with him because I want to go up to him and just be like, why aren't you talking about it? But I don't know if I have like kind of the guts to do that.
Why not?
But I don't want to have fake conversations with people. So I just avoid him.
Go up to Louis and say, hey, how come you're not talking about this on stage?
I don't know. Maybe I should.
You're definitely the person to do it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are like, go away forever. And then the other people are like,
I don't think you should
he's not Harvey. Come on. He didn't do anything. So it's like, I think there's very few people that are in the middle that kind of see everything. And
where do you think you think you're in the middle?
Yeah, I think I should be able to interview him. I want to interview him.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he'll do that. I think I can't imagine. I always try to empathize of what they must feel like. Like I've had stuff happen to me where I didn't know the platform I was talking on, and my fucking world imploded.
Yeah.
And I don't think the number one thing I'll tell you is I don't think people think about you. I say you, but me as well. But they don't think about us as much as we think they think about us.
Correct.
I don't think anyone's really actually outraged about your tweets personally. I think people are using it. I think you are. Hold on. Yeah, but you're vocal and you are a person that has no problem throwing Molotov cocktails at celebrities or famous people who have done things wrong.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really fun for people to attack you. It makes them feel good, like the way God does. You know, when you go to church and you connect with the God, some people in this world, their God is outrage and to hurt people and to try to take people down.
Yeah.
It's like Kevin Hart. You know, one of the most interesting things he said, and I haven't listened to all the stuff he said because I was like, you know, but one of the most interesting things he said, this is an attack. He goes, these tweets have been out there. I've apologized for them. These jokes were out there. It wasn't until I got the Oscars that the next day they've been waiting for this. These people don't like me. They don't want to see me succeed. They don't want to see me evolve. They just want to attack me. They want me to lose something.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on a lot in this culture is just people, it's Schadenfreude.
Huh?
Is that the name of it? Schadenfreude?
I don't know what you're saying.
I was in a meeting, my first Hollywood meeting. Someone said something about a movie that didn't do well. And this one guy was like, nice. And I said, well, why do you care if it didn't do well? And he goes, let me tell you something about Hollywood. It's not important that I succeed. It's important that I succeed and you fail.
Oh.
And I was like, ugh.
No, that's not.
And I never looked at comedy that way.
Never.
When Dane became the biggest comic in the world, I was like, fucking cool.
I want all of my friends to be rich. Are you kidding?
Yeah. So wait, let's pivot and see if where did you grow up?
Oh, and then also people said that I hate Bernie because he's a Jew, and I'm like, I'm a Jew. I don't know. People are wild. They don't know anything.
I don't really know enough about Bernie to hate him.
I don't either. I was just like, you're old and you lost. Go away. And then people are like, you know nothing. I'm like, all right. Well, that's the thing. It's like, we're comics too. I'm on a show called The Degenerates. Like, I've never claimed I was perfect.
Yeah.
I am who I am. I don't think before I speak. And to be held to a standard, I forgot that it's a news program and people watch the news. I guess it's like,
I forgot that it was a news program.
And people
were not there for stand-up. So when you're like, he's old, go away. Fuck white people.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, wait, fuck white. I'm white.
Yeah.
I'm an old Jewish white guy.
But I'm a dumb white bitch, and I had to learn a lot. The election really changed a lot for me. I don't think I understood a lot of stuff, and that's why he won. Is because I feel that a lot of white people, including myself, are like, well, I'm the good guy. Of course I'm good. I'm not racist. And it's like, no, we're all kind of part of this problem, and let we let a lot of things go and didn't really believe black people. It's like I do, you know, there's been a lot of growth and understanding that I didn't have. And it is what it is. I don't know. There's nothing I could do. It's like, do you want me to kill myself? Is this what they want? I'm going to jump off a bridge because I tweeted about Asians? I can't.
No.
I got to move, you know.
You got to just say, I'm over it.
I'm a Virgo. I'm overthinking.
Yeah. You can't overthink it. Anyone who knows you knows you of all people.
No, the first text I got from my friend who I had two friends in particular that I was like, this is going to upset them. And they were the first two people that texted me. And that was like huge relief.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was all I cared about was like my friends in my life seeing that. Like I was just kind of horrified. And the fact that they both texted me immediately being like, I know who you are, was honestly all I needed.
But I know who you are, and we have only hung out maybe like fucking 10 times tops.
Yeah.
And I know who you are, and it's that thing is that I can't give energy to a lot of shit out there.
No, we can't control what people think about us. We gotta just keep doing our shit. Yeah.
Someone said something about
This has been very therapeutic because I've just been house sitting with a dog alone, sitting there
with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, that can fucking make you crazy.
Yeah.
I remember I was in Hawaii with my family, and Tracy Morgan was doing a Reddit, Ask Me Anything, and someone said, "Did you ever smoke PCP with Bert Kreischer?" And he goes, I don't know who Bert Kreischer is. I don't smoke PCP, but I have heard this story and I wish he'd stop telling it. And everyone came at me. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. So these are all lies. Bert, this is how you get famous. You just lie. First of all, I was like, I couldn't have made up that story. I'm not that good of a storyteller where I could make up a great story. I don't think it was PCP. I think he was fucking with me, but he definitely said it was PCP. He definitely said it. And that's why I thought it. Because he fucking said it, and it really did happen. Tony Woods was there. Tony Woods remembers the story just as much as I did, but none of that matters. Yeah. The reason I never told the story in the first place is because I knew he'd say that. That's why I never wanted to tell the story in the first place. Is I knew Tracy Morgan would never remember fucking hanging out with one white kid.
Yeah.
And I had all these things I wanted to say. I was on vacation with my family. I wasn't rich. I was taking everyone to Hawaii, and I wasn't drinking because I wanted to be present with my daughters. And let me tell you something. I got into a spiral of fucking craziness. And I did two things. I put my phone and my computer away. I didn't tweet or text anyone. I didn't try to get in front of it. I was like, I know the truth of this. I know that I'm not a liar. I know that I couldn't have made up that story. But that fucking loop you get into in your head of like, going like, well, and then going, well, wait, what does this person think about that? What's this? And yeah. I remember going like, wanting to reach out to people, go like, hey man, just so you know, like he said that, but I'm not lying. Like that, yeah. I can make you crazy.
Yeah, and then you remember it's not real life because sadly, William Stevenson passed away yesterday. I don't know if you knew him. He's like
I didn't know him. I saw all over.
And I really I just like it. And then when I found that out, I was like, I can't, obviously what I said sucked, but it's like, I can't believe I'm thinking about Twitter and what strangers when this is like real life and
there's no age limit on getting on Twitter. That's the other thing. There's no age limit. I remember I got into a fight with a guy and this was back when I was using it, and I got in a fight with a guy and fucking lit him up. He lit me up. And then all of a sudden his followers just fucking attacked me, and they started pulling shit, like going like, oh, what about this? What about this? And I was like, motherfucker. And so I go to the guy's page. He's fucking 16. He's 16
and famous, or who was he?
Yeah, he's famous. I think and then the next day, and then I hit him up and I was like, hey man, I was just making a joke. I'm a comedian. And he was like, yeah, I know who you are. I'm a fan. And he was like, but I just so you know, like, I'm pretty famous in the gaming community, and so like, so they, my fans go after people, and so. I was like, cool. And then the very next day, his tweet, I would go to his page again to see like how my fucking life's going. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I've been off my meds for about 3 months and I'm pretty suicidal. And I went, oh my God. Like I was fighting with a child on medication. I'm a fucking grown man with a family. Like you can't, it's not real. Now
it's not real life. You don't know what's reality. It's wild. The internet's crazy. I'm reading a book now, How to Break Up with Your Phone. I'm like really trying to break that addiction. And
how often are you online? Glitter cheese.
I would say 10 hours. I'm on Instagram. I mean, I finally unfollowed like almost everyone.
Really?
Because I was following thousands of, I just scroll. It's the first thing I check when I wake up. Last thing before I go to bed. I mean, I'm on it all day long.
Scrolling.
And I'm not even having joy.
I can't stop. It's not, it's like an addiction.
Well, that's why this book is really good. It's like the first half is the wake up and then the second half's the breakup. I'm going to do it when I get back to New York. It's a 30-day plan on how to like get that addiction away. But you know, we're obviously all going to use our phones, but it's ruining our brains, our memories, our attention spans, anxiety. They say it's like having a slot machine in your pocket because you don't always get something good, but it's just dopamine. It's made to make you feel good, and you're going to keep checking until it gives you that jolt. And they know what they're doing, and it's really ruining our lives.
You know, they said that Twitter basically finds what you hate and then puts that in your news feed.
Oh my God.
So like theoretically, in your news feed, you would find stuff that
all about Asians.
Our best friends are Asian.
Yeah.
And I can't say it, but our best friends are Asian. I'll just say all our friends are people of color, I guess you would say now. And they are some of the most they're just regular. I don't know I don't want to put my friends on blast, but they're just as regular. There's no difference.
Yeah.
You know, like there's fucking everyone's the same. And that fucking go back to the phone. My addiction was so bad. I had to take the notifications off on my text. So when I got a text, because that was my dopamine.
Okay.
Was like getting texts in a weird way. I took my notifications off for my text so that I don't find out when people text me, and I started breathing. And then I was like, Twitter, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop this New Year's. I got a social media team who's helped me with my special release, but I texted them. I said, I took Twitter off my phone. It just wasn't healthy. Like I wasn't going there for positivity. I was going there and finding negativity.
But the thing is, I took it off my phone, but then I was on Google Chrome on it. So then I deleted Google Chrome, but Safari you can't delete. And so eventually I just log into Twitter on Safari, and it's like, what a psychopath. Like what a strong hold it has.
It really does, because like I would find Amy said something. I'm not friends with Amy, but like I know Amy, and I support Amy.
Yeah.
Amy said, I don't know what she said. I have no idea what she fucking said. I can't remember now. But it was so important to me at the time. I got so worked up. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, Amy's probably not as worked up about this.
Yeah.
And here I am, and I wasn't even involved in it. Like, it wasn't even about me. I'm laying in my bed getting so worked up about something, fighting with Amy in my head in the shower about something she said. I'm like, this isn't healthy.
Yeah, because that's what the book is talking about. Like, we don't actually concentrate and create new memories anymore because we're distracted by all the pings and all the different apps and everything and the links. And it's like, we can't concentrate and focus anymore because it's all in our brains, just going nuts.
Yeah, but then Instagram is, when you post something and then you go check how many views it got.
Well, yeah, and they do that on purpose. They don't just go one at a time how they like it. They like hoard them and then release all the likes at once so you could see how many you get. And for me, the worst is when I have a crush on someone. That's when I just see if they're watching my stories.
Oh, because you're single.
Yeah, I'm really single. I'm looking for love. That's like 2019. I can't believe there's just chickens. I'm obsessed with your home lives.
So wait, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Skokie mostly.
What time do you have to get out of here by?
I'm just doing Tom's podcast at 2.
Segura?
Yeah. So I'm pretty free. But I don't know what you're recording. Yeah. I'm so free. Oh God.
What? So
I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, like the North Shore. Yeah, really like Jewy area. And it was great. I was born in Russia though.
For real?
In the Soviet Union. It's Ukraine now, but the former Soviet Union. I'm a Russian Jew. And then
how'd your parents get here?
Religious asylum. I don't know if you remember in the early 90s, like all the Russian Jews came over. There was like a big march. But yeah.
You speak Russian still? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. But there's an accent. Like I wouldn't be able to go to college, you know. I can't talk about astronomy in Russian. It's conversational. You know, but I talk to my parents in Russian only. I have old parents, so.
How old?
My dad's turning 81 tomorrow, and I'm 31. And then my mom is 73.
Your dad had you at 50? Mm-hmm. So Bill Burr's daughter's going to go, I have old parents.
Yep. Well, my dad, but Bill, you know, he still has his ginger hair and stuff. Like my dad
He doesn't have any hair anymore.
Oh, really?
He shaves his head.
Yeah, my dad's always had white hair, so people always thought he was my grandpa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've had my
What's your
parents'
dad's name?
mortality.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Treyger.
Well, you know my real name's Yelizaveta. I'm like,
no.
Yeah, that's why Liza's spelled goofy with an I, not an E.
Yeah, that's why I've always fucked your name up.
Yeah, it happens all the time because it's just a shortened version of Yelizaveta.
What is that? Is that Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Yelizaveta?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, it would have been Betty, but then my grandma.
You would have been Betty?
Beta, yeah.
Oh, Beta?
Beta, yeah. But then my grandma died like the 27th. I was born the 31st, something like that.
And so your dad's name has got to be because he's older in Soviet Russia.
It's not a classic Russian name. I feel like you're not going to get it. But I
Sasha?
bet. That's my sister's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sasha's my sister's name. My dad's Simeon.
Simeon?
Yeah, but
Simon?
he goes by Sam.
Sam? Is it Sam or Simon?
Sam. He was a school bus driver, Sam.
Simeon.
Yeah. But telemarketers would always ask for semen. I remember when I was a kid and I'd laugh. And then my mom's Rima.
Rima.
Yeah, and I'm sending them a Petrosian caviar tomorrow for my dad's birthday. I ordered like $500 of caviar.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was it like having like legit immigrant parents? I love. By the way, I have a few things that I'm obsessed with. You already know what I'm about to say. I'm obsessed with anyone who has parents that were not like American. Like we just had Mo Ammer in here.
He's a good friend of mine. I really love him.
I love Mo. But keep going. I apologize.
No, that's fine. So my sister's 10 years older than me. So she went to parent teacher conferences. Like she really was like the chaperone for school field trips. She helped my parents, file paperwork by the house. Like she was very mature. And so we had her.
What's she do now? 43 years old? 41.
She was born in 77.
Oh yeah, she's young.
But she married her high school sweetheart. So I've known him since they were 15. Mm-hmm. They have 3 kids. She's a teacher and he does, I don't know, project manages something. Who knows? But he plays poker. He's cool. He's probably one of the best men I've ever met in my life. And then they just got a dog and they live 3 blocks away from my parents. And then his parents live in between. So it's like very classic style. It's like my parents, a block away, his parents, and then 2 blocks away is my sister and her husband and their kids.
So your dad comes here in the 80s?
1990 we came.
1990.
Yeah.
And his speaks no English?
No English. They're old. I mean, they still do. It's really hard. So my dad went to work. I mean, so the Jewish United Fund and like a lot of Jews helped. So we had like a volunteer family, Karen and their daughter Lisa, and they helped my mom get it. Like they kind of helped Americanize us. But we were poor. I mean, my sister and I slept in a dining room. We were on, welfare, Medicare, all that. And my dad worked at a factory. My mom went to school to learn English and then she got an accounting job. And then they were like janitors at my preschool so I could go to preschool because we couldn't afford it. And so they're just like full on working hard, American dream type people. Wow. And
how old was your dad at the time? Your dad was probably 56, 55?
Yeah, like we came 53.
Wow.
It's really wild because I do sometimes resent them for certain things or get mad. They're our parents.
Yeah.
But I always have to be reminded, like my dad had a good life. He had friends. He was popular. Like he lived a whole life there, and they came for us. And it's like a really wild, selfless thing. And people are mean to people with accents. And I remember getting really mad. People would be not nice to my father a lot. He's also annoying, but it is
annoying.
Because I was recently in Mexico, my friend from London was like, wow, you're so good speaking with everyone, you don't know the language. I'm like, yeah, because people treated my dad like shit. I remember in driver's ed, the teacher was like made fun of my dad in front of the whole class, and I got up and flipped out. Like, people aren't nice to people that don't speak English. I don't know. It's fucked.
But
my mom, I mean, I complain so much. I'm such a jappy girl. Like, I'm so American, brat.
Yeah.
And I just, I complain because I live 10 minutes from the train now. And I'm like, oh, God, it's too much. My mom, she walked 15 minutes to the train, took 3 trains, walked 10 minutes to get to work. And It's really wild.
Wow. I'm overwhelmed at the idea.
And when you think about it, my dad was born in 1938, my mom in 1945 in the Soviet Union. I mean, Stalin was in charge.
Yeah.
It's really like my dad's first memories is watching people starve to death around him. They grew up in awful times. My mom she always is like, I only had one bra. Like my mom worked at a factory all night when she was a teenager. They had really like awful lives.
I can't get past. I keep thinking this in my head is me giving up everything I have here and starting new with my daughters.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what emotionally that would do to me, to go like, I got a life, I've got friends, and then going, well, man, this Me Too thing is fucking not moving fast enough. I need to move my daughters. I don't know if there's anywhere more progressive than the United States.
Amsterdam. My friend went there and she said that's the place to be. It's like equal pay, paid maternity leave for a year, like full equality.
But
there.
They have prostitution.
Yeah, it's legal.
Yeah,
legalization.
I don't think it's. I don't
think sex work means it's not a progressive society.
No, but I think I do. I'm against. And this, I know I'm not brand friendly with everything. People are always like, bro, come on. You know what Tom or Ari would say about that, but I'm different. I'm a different person. I don't think it's always that I think most sex workers are doing it not on their own will.
You need full economic equality to have like equality within sex work and porn and all that, but
I don't think they're there for their free will. I think that
that's not true. I mean, I'm going to the porn awards next week, and I interview the girls.
I have a problem. Okay, let's talk about.
So this is the thing with porn. I understand women that don't have another option and they have to do it and they're not happy with it, but there are porn stars that are like, I'm not a victim. I love my life. Stop, like stop treating me in this way that I need help. But also, if we legalized sex work, I forgot what country does this, and I'm not super educated on everything, but there is one country that like being a prostitute's legal, but buying sex is illegal. So if a dude starts beating you or robs you, you can call the police. So that's the thing. It's like ensuring safety.
Say that again.
So like being a sex worker is legal, but buying sex is illegal. Because right now, if you're a prostitute, what is unsafe is that you can't call the police. So if someone ends up raping you, beating you, robbing you, you can't do anything about it.
So it's a loophole. So you go.
Yeah. So if you try to beat a sex worker and she calls 911, she's not going to get arrested. You are for beating her because that's illegal. So I think that is smart. Where it's like if someone decides to be a sex worker, even if it's a year or whatever, they want to do that. Yeah. They should be able to safely. They should be able to do it safely. The lack of safety is the problem. It's not the actual work.
I am very old school, almost meat and potatoes when it comes to sex. Like I'm not. I've only been with 6 women, so like I'm not. Like I have almost arcane views. Like when I remember talking to a couple of guys that were talking about girls getting trains run on them, and I was like, I consider that rape. I don't think that anyone does that on free will.
But if we respected sluts, it wouldn't be a problem. It's the way we treat sluts. It's not the slutty behavior that's bad.
But hang on, wait. Do you think that
lots of people are getting gangbanged or something should not devalue you in our society, but it does. Because I know obviously like we're also as women, it's like so much of our value comes from male attention, and obviously there is a lot of gray area in all of this, but a lot of the porn stars, when you they got into it because they loved gangbangs. Like I watched videos on Wood Rocket, and they on
Wood Rocket.
Yeah, it's like they have a segment called Ask a Porn Star, and they go to the expos and they ask like one question, they edit it per topic, and there's tons of videos, and a lot of the girls like, how'd you get into porn? And a lot of them were like, I mean, I had a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job, and I was setting up my own gangbangs every weekend, and then I'm like, why am I not getting paid for this? And another girl, like her and her husband, they were swingers, and they would just like have gangbangs at the house, and she loved it. And then she didn't start till she was a MILF, and like I don't know, she seems to really enjoy her life. And then there's some where you watch the interviews and you're like, something is fucked.
See, I'm so fucked in my head that I think that any woman whose husband has her fucking other men is a woman being manipulated by a man. That's probably sexist thinking.
Yeah.
Because I won't allow a woman to be. I won't allow in my head, and maybe this is fucked up in my thinking, I won't allow a woman in my head to be in power in sex. In my head, I go, any woman who's just like, I know this girl, Jenny Jizz, and she just blows dudes, and she's got a husband, and her husband's like, whip her dick out, she'll suck it. That exchange, for me, feels assaulty. Like, that he's going, whip your dick out, she'll suck it. Yeah. No. Let her be the one going. Maybe she don't want a dick in her mouth right now. But I like both Jenny Jizz and her husband.
Yeah.
But so I look at gangbangs as going like, I can't imagine that any woman.
And some people do it for work. Like, there's these porn stars I love, and they're a lesbian married couple, but like, she'll do gangbangs and they get paid. I mean, it's the way we treat the porn stars. Like, if people paid for porn, like Riley Reid has over 1 billion streams. If people paid for those streams, she would be as rich and get paid for it. It's like, we just disrespect sluts. And that's the problem. I don't think it's the slutty behavior, but
I will sign up on that.
Unless there's full equality within the society, I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, we know if you're a slutty girl, you're going to get treated worse, and you're going to, like, people aren't going to respect you. But that's the way we treat people. So
then let's talk about sluts.
Yeah.
It's an interesting word. That was one of my favorite words in college.
Yeah.
But we would call each other sluts. Guys, what's up, slut? And that, I don't think we ever called. Well, we would be like, oh, you want to go find some sluts tonight? Yeah. I love that word.
I do too.
That's such a great word.
It is. And you're allowed to be slutty. I don't know. If more people wanted to have sex with me, I'd be a lot more slutty.
Let's break it down, though.
Yes.
Here is why I had this conversation with my daughter.
Yeah.
It was probably an irresponsible conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run it by you, and you tell me where I fucked up.
Okay.
We were in London, and she fell, and she knocked the wind out of herself. And she was crying. She was inconsolable. And she said, I said, baby, calm down. We're in London, okay? Calm down. I feel like this is about something else. And I was like, you're going to take some deep breaths. And she just kept like real panicky. And I said, listen, you're beautiful. You're popular. And she immediately stopped. She goes, I'm not popular, actually. And I went, what? She goes, I'm not one of the popular girls, Dad. And I went, what are you talking about? She was in, I think, maybe 7th grade at the time, 6th grade. She goes, Dad, all the popular girls have had a boyfriend, and really popular girls have had like 4 or 5 boyfriends. And I was like, oh no, baby, those are sluts. Those are girls leveraging what boys want to get popular. That's not, I said, listen, there's ramifications to that behavior. As cool as you think that girl is because she's had a lot of boyfriends, there's a boy just like you who's looking at that girl that's being with a lot of different guys, and when she finally gets to him, he won't feel like the value was there in her. And so what the boys will do is they'll tear her down. When she doesn't want to be with a boy, the boys will tear her down. Boys will attack her and call her a slut and compromise her image or her reputation. And you don't ever want to be that girl, because that girl's got a real rough path. Right now, she's taking the easy road. The easy road is have a bunch of boyfriends.
Yeah.
The high road is respect yourself. And my wife was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're backing slut shaming to a little girl. Like, my wife got fucking livid with me.
But I see where you're coming. I actually have jokes that I do about like popular girls in high school, and how it's not good for any woman to base her value on male attention in any way. Get male attention, fuck dudes, take their money, have fun. Yeah. But you can't base your value on that, because they are going to disrespect you, and hot girls still get cheated on. And I have like a bunch of bits about it. Yeah. So, but I hate, because I used to, and I this is like an old joke of mine, I was in college to be a PE teacher. Really? I did not I switched. Really? Yeah. I went to like 3 colleges. I was kind of a maniac, but I ended up majoring in sociology. But anyways, I went to, not student teach, but before you student teach, you like observe classrooms, and I was in a health classroom. And I was sex ed, and there was a woman in the front holding a rose, and then she ripped petals off the rose and said, every guy that you have sex with is a petal you rip off of the rose. And then when you marry your husband, this is all you have to give him. And it was just like a thorny stick. And it's like, how dare you tell a room full of girls that their value comes from if a guy fucks you or not? And that's when I was like, I'm not doing this. But yeah, like if you fuck a lot, like that shouldn't diminish your value. I think my senior thesis was about this and like the concept of virginity and abstinence only education and how it's complete bullshit. And part of the patriarchy where it's just like, we should teach girls sex is for you. You don't have to be in love. You don't give it to a husband. You don't give it to a guy. It should be good. You fuck who makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't teach girls. It's like, hold it in, only because then boys can manipulate you and be like, I thought you loved me. Why aren't you fucking me?
But what about,
but it should be for you. Like if you're getting guys who don't understand slutty behavior probably don't fuck good. Like if you have fun having sex and you have great sex and you're with partners that are making you feel good, that is a great way to live. What sucks and what like my sexual history is all throughout college, fucking people, never coming, never thinking about myself, just pleasing these dudes and never getting anything out of it for years, like having such bad sex. And that made me feel shitty. Not that I was fucking. If I was having great sex, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But that's not what was happening.
I think that we should teach boys and girls.
Yes.
But and this is once again not brand
sex
friendly.
ed sucks.
But I think we should teach them that it's okay to keep your virginity for boys and girls.
Yes.
I think that it's identical. I think I will say
yes, because we all teach boys like how many girls
get laid.
Yes.
And that was the biggest thing. I wish that someone would just stop me at 17 and say, hey man, not everyone's meant for a lot of partners.
Yeah.
Some people's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people. I mean, first time when I lost my virginity, it's a nightmare story. Nightmare story I will not reenact because it was like just bad. It was like a fucking tragedy. Like I was so bad. This will very encapsulate it. I lasted one pump, and then when I had an orgasm, I looked at her and she said, "Are you going to put it in?" My dick was between her butt cheek and the bed. That's how I lost my fucking virginity. And then I fucked her. And then after I had compromised the condom, then I had sex with her. It was horrific.
Yeah.
And then it just got worse and worse and worse. I mean, I've only had one night stand, and it was so bad that it was like that she threw a fake punch at me. I mean, it was like fucking. And so for me,
well, yeah, no, you got to teach boys, like you got to please your part. It's like two people. That's like where all the consent stuff comes from too. Like fucking should be two people that want to fuck each other, whether they've dated forever, whether they're married, whether it's a one night stand. Like it should be two people having fun together.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, what can I get away with, or I need to get it in, or let me find some. It's like, no, this is two people in the mix, and you should be able to do what you want and feel good about it.
Yeah, and you should also say that there will be people who, to have many partners and to meet someone and communicate sexually that evening in a bed.
Yeah,
that'll be fun as fuck for them. And then they should say this to boys and girls.
Yes,
there are some of you that's not going to be as fun for. Yeah. You're not built for that. Your brain is built to be with one person. Like I think everything's multifaceted. But when I grew up, all boys had to do was fuck as many chicks as possible. Yes. That was a boy's mission, and all girls' mission was to try to not let it happen.
But I think the lesson to your daughter of like male attention is not what makes you a popular girl. You're thriving, you have friends, you do all these activities. Yeah. Like it's cool to have boyfriends if you want, but that doesn't make you great or not.
Don't let them define your happiness.
Yeah. But
I let girls define my happiness so much in my childhood.
I'm sure.
Fucking horrific. How old were you when you lost your virginity?
I was senior of high school, so I was either 16 or 17. Because I was a year younger, like my birthday's at the end of August. So, but I lost it to a straight. Okay, so I talked about this, and this is not happening. I don't know if it was ever released when we were all in Nashville.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be more slutty. I was like, wanted to fuck, and no one liked me, and it sucked. And that's what made me feel bad, because you hear that all dudes want to fuck and stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. And then I just got rejected. That's why now with comedy, it's like, you can say whatever you want to me. No one wanted to fuck me my whole life. So like, I'm not going to get hurt by it. So that was what was hard for me, where I was like, why is no one fucking me? So a lot of my best friends were a year older than me, and they went to U of I in Champaign. And so me and my friend, we went for Labor Day weekend, and that's always my birthday. And in my head, I was like, I'm losing my fucking virginity. I don't give a fuck. And so I like found someone at a party, and we fucked on a football field and then by a tree. I bled everywhere, but he didn't. And he's like, "Are you a virgin?" And he thought I was wet, but I bled everywhere. My pants were all wet, like soaked with blood. And then I lost my cell phone, a flip flop. He had to help me find my friend's dorm. And I walked into, and they were all crying because they thought I was abducted, raped, killed. And they were like, what are we going to tell her mother? And they all started yelling at me. And then they saw the blood all over my pants. And I was like, no, I wanted to lose my virginity. Like, I promise you. But then, and this is like goofy, but we washed the pants and then put them on the air thing to dry. We woke up, the whole dorm floor smelled like fucking period blood, pussy, disgusting. Like, and so, yeah, everything smelled, and it was just this like wild experience. Cause that's what I've learned in my research too. Like, some people don't have attachment to it and they just want to get it over with. And that's fine too. Like, it doesn't have to be a special thing if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I wish it could have been better or cooler, but
for me too.
But yeah, I just like fucked on the lawn at U of I with a stranger in a silk robe because we were at some party, and I don't know. Yeah, that was it.
Did you ever see him again?
No, I don't even know his name. I knew he played soccer, but like I know nothing about him. And then I didn't have sex again until college. And then I just was like, I wanted it so bad. I wanted male attention. I wanted to get fucked. Like, I wanted it so bad. So I would like, we had co-ed floors. So I would just ride the elevator and just fuck people.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I would go to and be like, let's fuck in the common area. I was just fucking everyone, and it sucked, and none of it was good.
Yeah.
One guy chewed tobacco as we fucked. Like, I was so desperate for it, and didn't know that it should feel good. Like, I didn't feel like I deserved it. I don't know. It was like a lot. Sometimes I'd fuck 2 people in one night at different parties.
Really?
And hate all of it. One time, we fucked in the shower. Like, I got injured the next day because, you know, you need, like, I was young. I don't know. You need lube in the shower.
Yeah.
So my like full labia inflamed. I had to walk to the, and I lost my phone and wallet that day too. And I had to like find it at the bus station. I couldn't get it because I lost my key card. I couldn't get into my dorms. Didn't have my phone. Just like crying, waiting to see someone I knew to take me to the health center. And they're like, yeah, you have an inflamed labia from rough sex, and you have to ice your pussy. And like that, like, I just had such bad, not good experiences because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was desperate for it.
So when did it switch?
I think I'm kind of gay. I dated a girl last year, and I think I've been gay this whole time too. So that's embarrassing. That I didn't know. But I hooked up with a girl at 21, and I had like foursomes and stuff. And with girls,
foursomes, like,
I only had one. I should clarify. But
who was in a foursome?
It was like the best, dude. I was at Caroline's, and I walked out on stage, and this guy in the front row was so hot, and I was like, you're so hot. I don't even know if I can concentrate. Like, you're so good looking. And I did a fun set, and he was with a couple, and I did some crowd. I had a good set, and I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do this. And so I waited for them. They're like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to go to Lily's for a drink. You got, they're like, we'll meet you there. And then we all had a drink. And then finally they're like, we're actually not a couple. We're all here. We live in different places. We're all here to have group sex. My wife's coming tomorrow to fuck us, but we have Coke, Molly, and a hotel room. Would you come back and fuck us? And I was like, absolutely. And
shut the fuck up.
So I went to
slow the story down.
Tree.
Slow the story down. Give me people.
I've been telling the story for like 5 years. I'm so embarrassed I don't have cool news stories, but yeah.
Tell me the people, like, give me an example, like, cast it for me. Give me an actor that will play the people.
The girl was like 22, and she looked like a girl that would play Snow White in a porno. Like short brown little bob, like real pale porcelain skin.
Yeah.
She did have hairy armpits, but she like pulled it off really good. Like, she was just hot. And yeah, so she was great. And then the other guy wasn't really my type. He was short, and he looked like he had
an agent.
No, he looked like a tech guy or something. I don't know, just like a dork, I would say. And then the guy I thought was hot was a professor, and he
like E from Entourage.
I didn't watch Entourage. It's funny. He had like reddish curly hair. I feel like he was. I don't know. I don't even know. But he definitely did it for me. Like, we were making out in the car to the
Oh, nice.
And they were on Molly at the show, which was pretty funny. I was like, no wonder you loved everything. But yeah, they had like leashes, collars, like so many dildo lube. Because everyone's like, did you wear condoms? I'm like, yeah, these are professional fuckers. Like, they're gonna have condoms there. But we fucked till like 7:30 in the morning, and then at 8:15 I had to be uptown to babysit a Vietnamese boy. And I because I was a backup nanny, so it was a new family every time, and the mom knew something was up. I was like in a black lace dress, like she knew. But the boy was so good. He like didn't need a lot of attention, which was great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, because sometimes if it's a baby or something, you don't know what's gonna happen. But he was just like, he just wanted to read and play Legos, and I was like, thank you so much. Yeah, so he was a good kid, but I went straight from the foursome to babysitting.
Did you talk? Did you exchange numbers?
Yeah, I texted with that dude a couple times, but no, it was just, but it was a perfect experience, and it was like all my fantasies came true. But
did you have an orgasm?
Tons for sure. We fucked all night.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, and they were like, we would take breaks, we would chat, or like 2 people would go at a time, or 3, or someone would take a break. Like it was really like a fluid situation. You can watch people, get involved. It was fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so after I got dumped with my ex-girlfriend, I thought I would do that again, and I ended up having a threesome, and it was not a good experience at all. And I haven't had sex in a year since then.
2 girls or
no, it was like a married straight couple in
Okay.
Scottsdale, Arizona.
And it just wasn't.
I was just using it to like get over my breakup, and it just made me sadder.
I've only been in 1 threesome, and it wasn't what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have sex.
And the dude was too it was too much. Like she did it for him, and I think she was gay. She kept being like, I just like girls so much more, and it's like, yeah, you're gay.
Yeah.
But
so, have you ever had sex with a black guy?
Yeah.
I guess that's I've only had sex with white chicks.
Yeah, I've definitely had sex with black dudes.
Asian guy?
No.
That's how you get back for this.
I know.
These tweets.
I'm into Asian girls though.
Everyone is.
Yeah, that's true. With like short hair. Yeah, that's true.
Is.
Everyone is. I think they're really hot. But I'm on dating. I want love. Like I want to find a partner. I want it. I want to really be in love and be married.
Really?
Yes, I have forever.
Doesn't matter, girl or guy.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I really would like to have a wife, but if
Really?
I end up with a guy, it'll be fine.
See, I can't understand how your brain works. Like I guess I'm an old white man. I guess I'm just an old white man where I go, what do you mean? I want it to be I guess it could be a.
Well, because everyone after the girlfriend, everyone was like, are you gay? Are you what? Who are you fuck? And it's like, I don't know. I'm still attracted to guys that I see.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to girls. I've only been in 2 relationships. 1 guy, 1 girl, both comics. But
Do I know the guy comic?
no, he's like a Chicago dude.
Do I know the girl comic?
She just had a Netflix thing come out, but she lives not in this country.
Oh, is she in the world of comics?
Yeah.
Canadian?
She is Canadian, but she's in the UK one.
Hold on.
She's from Toronto, but she's lived in London for like a decade.
Okay.
No, she's like a super babe. And what's funny is she looks like every boy I had a crush on when I was younger.
For real?
Yeah, she looks like Leonardo DiCaprio and like Nick Carter to me. So I kind of got my teen dream.
Nick Carter. Sebastian.
And a little
Sebastian
Miley
just came.
Cyrus.
Comedians of the world. Is it?
No, I could tell. Oh, it's blonde. Blondie. May.
What's her name?
May. MAE. Well, she did tell me, she's like, can you please stop calling me a compulsive liar on podcasts? And I was like, I'll try. I cannot stop talking about her. She dumped me a year and a half ago.
Really?
But we still text and stuff. I mean, she really was everything I wanted, and then I got dumped. And
is she gay?
She's bi.
I never understood. I don't think I still understand bi.
You just.
My friend was bi, and she goes, "That's not the."
Well, now there's a new one that's like pansexual or demisexual, something like that, where it's like you just fall in love with the person and you're kind of open to whatever happens. I just enjoy. I don't know if it's. I just really enjoyed dating her. I enjoyed having sex with her. Like I think I'm pretty gay.
Oh yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, I just didn't realize it. Even though I had hooked up with girls.
I've always been attracted to lesbians. Like I kind of feel like my wife gives off a lesbian vibe.
That's funny. She gives off like such a mom cutie vibe to me.
Yeah. She just said the other day, she's like, I said, you look like you're dressing like a mom. She goes, yeah, my mom would dress like a slut, and I was always embarrassed by it, and I'm going to dress like a mom for my daughters. And I went, yeah, but I want you to look like a slut. She's like, yeah, and then my daughters would be disgusted by it.
Do you ever go on vacations, the 2 of you?
She just went on tour with me.
Oh,
yeah, we're in my tour bus. Ooh.
I saw on Instagram the tour bus. That's cool. This is your first tour bus.
I'm telling you right now, it changes your life. It's a game changer. It is. You are a million times healthier, a million times happier, a million times more creative. It is the greatest thing I've ever done.
Because you're not at airports.
Because you're not going through airports. You're not dealing with strangers. You don't have frustration throughout your day. It's just very simple. You get done. You go back to the. I mean, it was. I kept. Like,
that's not a vacation.
What?
Have you guys ever gone on vacation without the kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where. But we went to Costa Rica one time, just me and her.
All right, good.
But I'm...
Because that's where she could be a slut. It's dressed like a slut.
No, she's always going to be dressed like a mom. She's just got a mom vibe. I think she's... I always thought I was like, I was always ready to be a dad, and not a boyfriend.
I feel people assume, or I can't speak for others. I would assume you were just like this wild man whore lunatic. You know?
Isn't that crazy?
It's so wild.
People when the Me Too thing came out, and I'm sure I have, like, just like you go, I'm clean.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's stuff that people will go, no, you were horrific. Like, never sexual assault, but to my knowledge, I mean, everyone was. Every time I had sex with them, I was dating them.
Yeah.
So, like, no sexual assault. I do think back to high school of, like, hooking up with girls and being like, you know, like trying to get up the shirt, you know, and like going, oh, try a second time, oh, try a third time.
Yeah.
You know, that now I look back and I go, well, I wonder if I was really not reading one.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it now, but like that being like persistent sexually, but not rapey, but just persistent.
But that's why the conversation when people are like, oh, but it's not Harvey Weinstein, it's like, you don't need to be like viciously raped. If girls just don't want their tits touched at work, like, that's valid, just because it's not the worst thing that can happen to you. It's like, we need to change the fucking culture and how we treat women. It's just, that needs to happen.
I think, you know, there's nothing I can do for my behavior now,
but you have daughters that you get to raise, and that's awesome.
I have a joke now that I talk about with, like, there was so many parts of feminism that were a direct assault to men. Like, it was just like a direct, like...
It's not, because it is the patriarchy. You know what I mean? It's just hard. The not all men thing is frustrating to me, because it's like, you've been in charge of everything, so it has to be your fault. You can't say it's not men when it's like, you've been in charge of the movie studios, the government, all the big businesses, all the law firms.
Yeah.
You've made the laws, and you've not protected women. If there was equality, there would be fucking daycare at work, and you could get paid maternity leave. Like, the
Don't
patriarchy doesn't.
Maternity leave?
Not, we're the only fucking, like, I don't know how to say it. What is, like,
first world country?
Yeah, isn't there a different word for it, or no? I don't know. Whatever. That doesn't
country
have
that doesn't throw
force.
tires around your neck and light you on fire.
Yeah.
What about that? What about that argument with feminism? Is like if we're talking about spinning plates for women, right? Meaning, like, the feminist plate spinning of the United States is going pretty good. Things are good.
No,
it's good to be a woman in the United States. It's better
it depends
than
who you are. I mean, we have more black
women
women dying in hospitals, giving birth, and like in going to the doctors.
Black women?
So many black women die constantly at the hands of doctors, and a lot of articles are coming out this year.
Why?
I mean, I think Serena Williams' like complicated pregnancy is what really put it in the forefront.
But why black women?
Because they don't get listened to, and they've been taught not to really like complain because no one trusts them, and doctors dismiss them. That's why I was, you know, when we talk about like, why do I hate all these comics that I hang out with and all these dudes? There was one time I came to the cellar and I was like, oh my God, this doctor's office I went to, everyone was a black woman. It was so exciting.
Yeah.
And the response for this comic was like, oh yeah, because white men are the worst, you know, as long as it's not white men. I go, this has nothing to do with you. If you want to go to a white male doctor, there's hundreds. We're in New York. I'm like, I think it's important. You know, my friend who's Indian went to a black doctor, and he was like, you know, people of color, we don't get enough vitamin D. And he's like, I've never heard a doctor tell me that. And it's like, yeah, it's important, because white people don't listen to there's so many articles coming out right now. They die in astronomical numbers. I mean, maternity death rates are insane in America because we don't believe women. I mean, one of my closest friend, my sister's best friend, I've known her since I was a child. She gave birth and then she kept losing weight. And she's like, something's wrong with me. I'm sick. And I was like, you look great. It's just pregnancy. You look great. They ignored it for months. She had Hodgkin's lymphoma, like fucking stage 4 cancer. And no one believed her when she was saying she didn't feel well because she was losing weight. And that's all we care about. Like, we don't listen to women because the medical profession has been run by dudes, and that's who teaches it. I mean, we don't even have research like women with heart attacks have different symptoms than men, and it's not talked about. The fact that tampons and menstruation products aren't tested at what they do to our bodies. They're not treated as medical products. It's like a beauty product. It's like, if the patriarchy did care about women, all these issues wouldn't happen. So instead of saying not all men, it's like, you have to realize what we're all going through. The world is built for you. It's a Homer Simpson joke where he's like, I'm a man ages 18 to 35. Everyone listens to me. And then he starts eating peanuts and gum in a container. But everything is built for you and made for you, and the movies are for you and the books. And it's like, we see what men think of women because it's written in every book. We're a side character. We're a prize after you save the world. You know, if men cared more about women and saw us as equals, we'd be equals in your stories and your movies and your music, but we're not. And so it is a reality, whether you think you're a good man or not, the society around you. And that's what I had to realize as a white person of like, oh, it's all made for me. So I'm going to be treated different, and I can't use my experience to dismiss what Black people are saying happens to them all the time. Mm-hmm. And so that's what is so bothersome when men take it so personal, where it's like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, stop being defensive and understand.
I think there's buzzwords that make men feel like, oh, this isn't a conversation. This is a lecture.
Yeah, maybe you need to be lectured.
No one ever needs to be lectured. People need to listen. But
that's one of my goals this year. Listen more.
I listen almost to a fault. Meaning, not on this podcast. I just say I don't. No, I know I don't. I'm a bad listener in general, but when it comes to real life things, I listen.
I just feel like there's just so many issues, and it's like, okay, you're offended by this convo, but it's like there's real problems happening.
Okay, but let's go back to the thing. What about, this is what I was saying. Yeah. These are what guys think is like, it's pretty good. It's still probably 100 times better to be a woman in America than anywhere else in the world.
That's not true. I just said Amsterdam.
Okay, but it's okay. But you know, like Syria is pretty tough being a chick.
Yes, but the fact of the matter is, but the men that bring it up, you don't do anything to help those women either. You know what I mean? It's always this like, it's kind of like when International Women's Day comes around. It's like, what about Men's Day? It's like, there is one in November, but you guys don't seem to care about it until it's International Women's Day.
There's a Men's Day?
Yes, but you
what day?
It's like November something, but you guys don't. That's what I mean. You don't give a shit. You only give a shit when it's for women. So it's just like, that's what's so annoying. It's like, but you don't care about the women in Syria. You don't do shit for them. If you guys cared about women in Syria, do something. You know, it's always like, well, your clits aren't getting cut off in Africa. It's like, yeah, thank goodness. But like, what does that have to do with anything? What does, just because I don't want my shoulders rubbed and touched at work, it doesn't mean that I don't understand what's happening in Syria but it's still the patriarchy and it's still fucking men. You know, I was on Bobby's podcast and I made a joke because me and my ex, we walked by the sex club and she was like, to go in there, women could go on their own, but if you're a man, you need to be there with a woman. So I made a joke on Bobby's podcast where I was like, yeah, I think men should not be able to leave the house unless they have a female escort. It's the only way to ensure safety. I bet crime would go down. And he goes, well, men get raped more than women in prison and stuff. And I go, yeah, and who's raping them? Other men. Like, it's still men. You guys, it's men. So if you're not touching people and forcing people to have sex with you and you pay all your female employees equal and all of that, that is amazing. But it doesn't take away from like, most dudes suck. There was an article, this is like not as...
Most people suck.
Most people suck. Yeah.
Most people suck.
Yeah, I'm racist. So I suck. No, there was an article that came out and I loved it. And this is like neither here nor there, but a woman at work got spoken to because she was taking too long with clients and they were like, you need to up your, I forgot the job was, we can look it up. So then what happened was accidentally this dude started sending emails with her signature and started realizing people didn't trust her. They didn't believe her. They kept asking her questions, trying to tell her. And then when she had the male signature, she started having more output and more clients because people didn't question her. I mean, people don't trust women, and women, it's like everywhere, we don't listen to women. We don't believe women. We don't give women the benefit of the doubt. It's just like, it is what it is. It's like reality. With a male signature, she got through the work. People just believed her and that's it. And when he had her signature, people were like, are you sure about that? Well, I read this and and that's why it took her longer because people wouldn't listen to her.
What about...
It's constant and it's little. And then sometimes it doesn't exist. And this happened with Ari once, but it's like, let's just do a race thing. But if everyone treats you like shit constantly because you're a woman or because you're a person of color, and then the one time where you're like, hey, that's, and it's not, it's like, you can't blame that person. It happens to them all the time. because I used to volunteer at a sexual assault center, and one of the things we were trained is like, no matter who calls asking for someone, you know nothing. You tell no one about anything. You don't let anyone in. You don't know what anyone's situation is. You don't let anyone in anywhere, because you don't know what their intentions are. So I was getting into a hotel really late at night, and there was a bunch of black dudes wanting to get in, and they were going to go in with my key card. And I went, I don't know who you're going to go see. You can't go in. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, is it because I'm black? And I, it's like,
that just happened and went viral, and a woman's now called racist. It was
I told him, I go, listen, I don't trust any men. Like, you need to have her come down. Like, I can't do that. But of course he's going to think it's because he's black, because it happens to him all the fucking time. And I can't get offended by that. Yeah. I can't start being like, oh, I'm not racist. It's like, yeah, it probably seems fucking racist. It probably sucks. And this happens to you day in and day out. So what are you going to
do? I said, I first learned about that in New York, that like going to I lived at 29 Cornelia Street. And a girl was going in the door, and I kind of just jogged over so that I could get in the door with her, so I didn't have to find my key in my bag. Mm-hmm. And she went, no. And she shut the door on me. And I went, what? And I was, by the way, it's a glass thing. And she's holding the door. And I went, so I went, and she's staring at me. She's like going, no. And she goes, buzz them. And I went, huh? So I pulled my bag out, and I unlocked the door, and she went, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And I said, what the fuck did you think I was going to do? Kill you?
Yes.
She goes, yeah, I actually did. And I went, it's the middle of the afternoon in New York. I got really offended. I go, it's the middle of the afternoon in New York. Look at me. Do I look like did you really think I just, out of nowhere, in the middle of the afternoon, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to go kill this bitch real quick. She goes, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And I went, I literally couldn't get past it. And we lived in the same building.
Yeah.
I lived in that building for like 3 years. I'd see her all the time. And this is where, if we're going to talk.
And if something did happen to her and you were a killer, she would be blamed for letting you in.
The woman got lost everything because in the Upper West Side, she was going into her building.
Yeah.
And a black guy tried to follow her in.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I can't let you in. And she was drunk. I don't think she said anything racist, but she basically was like, no, I can't let you in. And black Twitter destroyed this woman.
Yeah.
They were like, fuck you, you whore.
Yeah.
This happens to us every day. And you're like, in my head, I was like, no, in New York, I definitely remember that happening a lot. And I got to the place now where I will, and we lived in an apartment in New York, in LA.
Yeah.
I would always, if I was going in and a woman was going in front of me, I would let the door shut, and then I would use my key and open it.
Yeah.
But that's just,
instead of being offended, it's like,
yeah,
I'm just going to because it's like, yeah.
Okay, so how about this? I am really good at that's an arrogant thing to say right with that.
And I do want to add, the hardest thing about feminism and being a feminist is you have to convince half of women as well. Because most women don't believe in feminism,
Most women don't.
So that's the thing. 53% of white women voted for Trump. You have people who do. I mean, I've met girls on the road. They're like, we can't have a woman president. What if she got her period? She'd be nuts. And it's like, you're out of control. But yeah, that's what's so hard about making any changes with women's issues, because most women don't.
I'm going to say the most sexist thing that you'll ever hear me say.
Yeah.
I want my biggest frustration with women, the biggest difference between men and women, is the crying thing. Is that I don't mind if someone cries, but when I've had this with my wife, when a woman cries to get out of her responsibility, it just goes like, and you're like, I never was allowed to do that as a man. I had to deal with whatever.
Yeah, but that sucks. You should be able to cry, not us stop crying.
No. But
that's not it.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
okay, let me rephrase that. I wish I could cry.
Yeah, I hate when dudes are like, girls, you got to talk it out and cry. We just punch each other. It's like, okay, that's not better. I don't know. Why don't? Yeah,
I got into a fight with Stacey Dash. This is a long time ago at Crunch. She took my spin bike and she moved all my stuff off of the spin bike and then got in. She goes, this is mine. And when I got upset with her, she just cried. And I was like, fuck off. You're not allowed to just cry and get out of responsibilities.
Yeah.
And that's, and I said that to my daughter one time. I will not raise, I said, I forget what I said. I was talking about.
Because a lot of our shit is like, well, back in my day, and it's like, and you're all miserable and unhappy and live shitty lives. We don't want to live like you.
But do you have a problem with older people? Like the ones like, remember the lady that told Aziz's girl, you just had a bad date? Who was that girl? Do you remember that lady?
And it's like, because Bette Midler is like, I love her so much. And she had like a dumb tweet about like how being a woman is the new N-word or something. And it's like, or it's a Yoko Ono thing, whatever. Everyone started hating her. And she said weird things about gay stuff. And it's like, to me, it's just a reminder that when I'm older to constantly be informing myself and growing and not be stuck in my ways.
But what
because
about
we
what about
all
the
are
idea that
susceptible
kids
to
don't
it.
know what the fuck real world is?
Sure, but it doesn't. Yeah, I guess it's. I don't know.
I had a lot of big ideas when I was a kid, and I was wrong about all of them.
I bet we were right. It's just impossible. Like, just because you had idealistic views.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my head, it's like burn down. Yeah, like get rid of consumerism and monopolies and all that. And it's like, yeah, we can't do that. Everything's bought out. Like, we're kind of in a nightmare. But
I think once you, for me, my big change, the day I realized I was getting old was.
Well, it's like my mom used to hit me, and it's like. No, let's not hit our kid. I don't know why we keep like wanting to be in the back where it's like, I didn't cry. It's like, you should be able to fucking cry. I cry when I'm upset. Like, you can cry. I don't know why crying is like, if you cry at work, it's like awful. It's like, you should be able to cry. That's like a natural thing. Your body cries.
Yeah,
it's like saying to not sneeze. Like Bobby Kelly has a funny joke about it too. Where like his sisters were allowed to cry and then he like broke his arm and his dad's like, don't you cry, be a man. He's like, I see bones coming out of my hand, you know? It's not.
I was told, I was never allowed to cry.
Yeah, it sucks. I think everyone should be in therapy. I think men should be able to talk about their emotions and like also have feminine traits and not dismiss everything that like femininity is or whatever.
I think that kids these days are living a very different life.
The phone addictions is what the worst thing
everyone's
is.
face is in their screen.
Yeah.
They feel like they're unsafe when they're not really unsafe. They don't know what safety is. They've never had a boat sink in the middle of a lake that has alligators in it and had to swim to shore. That's never happened to them.
Yeah.
They're all their safety issues. And so this outrage that you see all over the campuses is where they feel like someone's different opinion is an actual assault on them when it's not. And that's what really, and I think if we're going to go back to what you're probably going through.
Yeah, but if your opinion is that gay people should die.
It's not gay people should die. I don't think, I mean.
Then like, that's unsafe.
If you think that you should go out and kill gay people, then yes, that is unsafe. But I don't think that's what Milo was saying. And by the way, I don't support Milo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm using him or any of those people who've been shut down. Jordan Peterson.
I don't know. I guess I am also scared, and my parents are pretty dismissive of it because they've gone through real hardships. But like, I don't know. I think it's like scary what's happening in our country.
Yeah, I do too. But what part? What? Because I would think your parents know communism. They know socialism. They know restrictive speech.
Yeah.
They know that firsthand.
Yeah, but we don't have like free press. I mean, we have like, I don't know. I don't want to go with
our press right now.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it because I'm not that educated in it. But there is a level. I think as a white girl in this country, I've never felt unsafe until this like new president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
felt pretty safe, even though I know a lot of people didn't. But I've always felt safe, and now
I've always felt safe.
There is.
Still feel safe.
I am scared.
There is an unprecedented behavior that this president is doing that none of our other presidents did.
Yeah.
Which is unnerving, I think. Some people call it refreshing, though. Some people see it as refreshing. A lot of people would argue that what's happening to you right now with the tweets, to Kevin Hart, to Louis. I don't think Louis is the same. No, okay, well, okay. Then let's say
who else got in trouble for tweet? I mean, Tosh got in trouble for a joke.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Amy, Sarah.
Yeah. I'm just not even. And then I made it. I wish I was more successful.
I think some people go, it's refreshing to see a president say all those same things, a president, and not have any backlash. It's insane that he has said practically worse things than any of you guys combined.
Yeah.
And
no, he was right. Like, he can go shoot someone in Fifth Ave and his supporter, nothing will happen to him. I mean, he's breaking rules left and right. The evidence that's mounted against him is insane. And the fact that like there's no rule and order, and Brett Kavanaugh, that was like a rough couple weeks. I mean, I was like, that was brutal. Yeah, couple weeks was really brutal. Like,
I got into a big fight with a female comedian, a lesbian female comedian. You can probably guess pretty quick which one it was. Over nothing. She was really upset, but I had to stop and go, well, what did I, like, all I tweeted was like, can you imagine having to defend your high school yearbook?
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, why?
What do you mean? The yearbook wasn't the problem. The problem was he raped a woman and now is sitting on the court.
All I was saying, all I tweeted.
Yes, but in that moment, we're going to take it as a defense of...
Why?
What do you mean why? Because it's a sensitive fucking thing and people were on edge. Yeah.
Okay, why? Okay, how about this? Then let me...
Because it happens all the time and it's this thing of like...
Why is it that and you can't just say because I'm a white man.
Oh, okay.
I look at everything from both sides. I listen to everyone.
Not everyone deserves a side.
It's
like the Nazi thing of like Charleston being like, oh, there's good people on every side. It's like, I don't think so.
I don't think there's good Nazis.
You know what I mean? But that's what's happening where it's like, I don't understand why we have to give a side to people who think like being gay is wrong and gay people shouldn't be able to adopt or marry each other or own a home.
So you think across the board, without a doubt,
if what you believe in is full on hatred and lack of rights to people,
no one's gonna agree. No one's gonna agree with that.
Yeah.
But with the Kavanaugh subject, you definitely believe, without a doubt, he'd definitely raped that woman.
100%. And I bet he's raped tons of women and assaulted women. I bet he abuses his wife.
Wow.
And the investigation they did was bullshit. And I am just scared for every single daughter who had to, and son, every single child who had to hear their parents defend Kavanaugh and R. Kelly. And I hope that they don't get abused and know that they can't go to their parents because they won't be believed. That's what I'm so scared of. That we have parents defending these monsters. And like, what are kids going to say? Like, oh, my teacher touched me, but my parents don't care. So I'm not going to tell them.
Okay.
That's what's horrifying to me, where it's like in our culture, and that's why it's male victims as well. Children are abused constantly and do not come forward because we don't believe them. We don't believe them. And, with the priest situation.
I would believe them so much quicker than I believe an adult.
Of course. But, with all these kids that came forward to their parents was like, my priest is molesting me. And it's like, shut up, Or I have friends that were molested as children and their parents knew, but then they didn't do anything about it. I have friends that went to the police and took their abusers to court and nothing happened to them. Like, it happens all the time. And that's why to see this man and the way he was yelling and screaming, like...
Who, Kavanaugh?
Yeah. Like, can you imagine her? Like, she had an answer to everything. I just, the fact that she donated all the money that was raised for her GoFundMe to organizations, the fact that everyone cares about what's happening to him and his daughters when she hasn't been able to move to her house. She's moved 4 times as a private detail, can't go back to work for saying a man raped her, and he is sitting pretty on the fucking Supreme Court. While being a baby and screaming. And that's why, like, some topic, everyone has their limit, right? So to me, I'm not going to laugh at a domestic violence joke. I'm probably not going to laugh at rape stuff. I'm not going to take your right to say it. I'm not going to complain to a comedy club. I'm not going to tell a booker not to book you, but I'm not going to laugh, I'm not going to be into it. And we're allowed to do that. And that, like... That's why, and that's what I said about the Bernie thing. It's like, we need men to be as excited and as passionate about women and women's issues for there to be change.
Well, it's difficult to be a man excited for women's issues a tad bit without feeling like you are simply just, because it sounds like, it feels on my side.
Yeah.
It always feels like men are under attack. So it's hard to celebrate without just going like.
I mean, they just, they lapsed the Violence Against Women Act. Our Congress just didn't fucking pass it. It's just like, it's like a law to instill better laws about domestic violence and protect women. And like, we don't. The police don't believe women. Rape kits aren't tested. Like, more women die at the hands of their boyfriends and husbands than anything else. Like, more women get abused and die from domestic violence than like gun violence, war, everything. It's like women are getting beat the shit out of constantly. And I have to worry if men feel attacked from our words.
But I would say sometimes.
And I used to volunteer at the center, and like a lot of our training is because I was in a small town in college, and like, a lot of people that are abused and then they go to their priest or their local place, they're like, you got to work it out, work on your thing. And then if you're in a small town, the sheriff, and then the sheriff doesn't believe you. It's like, it's crazy what's happening. And it's like, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I'm sorry you feel offended. I care more that there's tons of like victims of fucking domestic violence everywhere.
Everyone would agree with you that it's horrific. Anything bad that happens to anyone.
So that's why when you just make a joke like, oh, the yearbook, it's like, but you didn't rape anyone. And I'm sure anything written in your yearbook has nothing to do with like raping people.
I don't know. I really don't know. I never raped anybody, but I don't know what jokes I made when I was fucking 17, and I don't know. And my whole point was,
but you're also, this is the highest court in the land.
I would never run for Supreme Court justice.
That's what I mean. It's just like we're it's like the standard. It's just like,
it was for me. Well, okay, for me, what was frustrating in it is I was making a joke about something totally different, and I got perceived as being an oppressor.
Yeah.
And a rape enthusiast.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, that's a real. So what you're doing in that situation is you're assuming the worst out of me, as opposed to giving me the benefit of the doubt, knowing that I am a good person.
Yeah.
You are not only assuming the worst out of me, you're putting me on blast.
No, I'm someone.
And not you. The person that did it put me on blast, and I direct messaged them and I said, hey.
Well, if this is the same person, I really don't like this person. If it's we're thinking about the same person, but
I'll
but you DM'd. No, that's what I'm saying. Like I will have discussions with people. No.
Mid-roll reads. Mid-roll reads.
What are they?
These are mid-roll reads. This podcast is also brought to you by Manscaped. Thank God I shaved my balls before this trip. Manscaped is #1 in below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for manscaping with the right tool for the right job. Trust me when I say that is accurate. These clippers do not hurt you. They do not cut you. They take care of you so that you do not cut yourself. I've cut myself so many times with clippers, and these do not. Mark Norman is using the Manscaped clippers to trim his face on this tour. The Lawnmower 2.0 features quiet stroke technology. It is terrifying to trim your balls when the thing sounds like a goddamn chainsaw down there. But with the Lawnmower 2.0, it's so quiet, it gives you confidence to trim the most sensitive areas. Perfect for travel. I said Mark Norman has got one. He fits in his bag. I wish I had brought mine. I have my big ass beard trimmer, and it died already on me. It features replaceable trimming blades that helps you trimmer stay hygienic and prevent manscaping accidents. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BERT at Manscaped. If you shave your balls, get Manscaped. Trust me, I am a guy who's been shaving my balls for probably 20 years. These are the best clippers. Your balls will thank you. You will thank me. Get 20% off free shipping and a free travel bag with the code BERT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping and a free travel bag at manscaped.com, and use the code BERT. My point is, what's happening now with, and I'll only use this feminism, is that when a good guy, I'm not great, but I'm not bad. I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not jacking off in front of anyone.
Yeah.
I'm not sexually harassing. I barely even speak to women when I go to the clubs. I'm being serious. I'm being dead serious. I barely speak to. I will talk to my couple friends when I'm there, and I'll be cordial to everyone. But for the most part, I found that it's unhealthy for me, because then you start judging yourself and based on people's careers. Okay. So I kind of stay in my little zone when I go to the clubs. It's just a bad. I think it speaks more to where things are going, and in a bad way, that you. When someone says something innocuous, in their opinion innocuous, people then assume they are, knowing them, they are the worst person, and put them on blast for it. And I think that's unfair. And that's where personally I see feminism, it has hit a roadblock in that sense, is that they're assuming all men are against them. And so when a guy does something that is just kind of like run of the mill.
Yes, because the numbers show that they are like, what's the...
But if you looked at us, if you looked at us more as allies...
No, because you're not allies. I don't know.
So but it's not a war. Then you're saying that automatically we're enemies.
No, I don't know.
I think we're allies. I want you to have everything in life you want to have. I don't understand everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Like when you say I'm bisexual or this and that, I'm not. I don't understand that. I can't really wrap my head around that. I do find sexuality in my head to be binary. There's not a gay part of me.
Yeah, but you also don't understand like rocket science, but you understand a spaceship exists and can go to space. So
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
It's like totally fine if you don't get it and you're like, oh, I'm super straight and I want to,
I understand what the concept is, but in my head I go, I can't imagine being free enough to say, if I end up meeting a dude on the road, I'll fuck him. Like do you realize that's like, that's insane for me to say. Like I would never be able to wrap my head around that. Like if I see a couple bros at my show that want to take turns on me in my tour bus, I'd be cool with that. That is fucking insane.
I love it.
And so, but my thing is I look at this from the conversation we started at is I go, I just hate when it's us against them, when it's gotcha fucking politics.
Yeah.
When it's difficult to become, like, I want to see things change for the better. I do.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're doing it the right way, in my opinion.
So what way is it?
I don't know.
We've been trying every way. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? What way is there? We've tried every way. If you guys wanted to get on board, we could have done it by now. Yeah, it hasn't worked. Can I just tell you? So I've been like this forever. I played on an all boys football team in junior high. In 7th grade, I remember we had to write an essay on who has it easier, men or women. I remember I've been arguing this fucking fight since 7th grade. Okay. Men don't want to change. They don't want to learn. They want to argue with me. They want to find the exception to the rule. They want to find a what about this? A gotcha. They want to argue with me. They don't want to change. I've been fighting this fucking fight for decades, and I've even made mistakes, and I've gone on the other side, and I got kicked out of the women comedy Facebook group for being a dumb bitch. Like, I'm not always perfect. I was a bitch. I defended a dude I shouldn't have defended and called everyone.
The guy, the UCB rapist?
No. No, but like, you know, I haven't.
Kurt Metzger? Did you defend Kurt?
I did.
Oh, my fucking ribs are killing me. Oh my God. Oh, that's fucking great. Oh, the fact that I can guess that in one fucking.
Yeah, and I got kicked out of the women group, and I said dumb shit. I was like, work harder, you dumb bitches. None of you are fun. You know, I was like being a brat. I'm not always perfect in my feminism, and I didn't understand intersectional feminism. But I don't understand
intersectional. I just read a book about intersectional. Intersectional feminism is feminism. Let me see if I got this right. That is, I'm a black woman and I'm a feminist. I'm a lesbian and I'm a black woman.
It's just like feminism needs to know the interests and like of all different types of people, not for yourself. Because I used to be like, well, we're having progress. Why aren't you mad? Why are you mad? But it's like, no, it's just for me, and we're not acknowledging that black women have a different experience.
It's the problem. It's the issue that black women hold with Lena Dunham.
Yes,
is that she is. Amanda Seals. Seals.
She says some smart shit.
She's look. Obviously, she probably hates my guts. Based on stuff I've seen of her trailer for her special. I don't think she'd want to have a conversation with me, which really stinks because
I bet she would come on this show.
No, I don't. I bet she wouldn't. But
really?
Yeah. But it's Joey Diaz. I don't know if she would or she wouldn't. That's unfair of me to put words in her mouth. But like I watched her thing, and then I followed her. We talked about her on Open Tabs a bunch because I watched her things, and this is what is frustrating to me. I'm listening and looking at all these people and kind of drawing in information and going, oh, cool, that's changing my perspective. Yeah. It's shifting the way I see things. Yeah. And I'm reading a book because of this line that was written about Lena Dunham. And it was about intersectional feminism. And I was like, oh, I'm curious about that. My problem is I just don't think anyone else is curious or wants to hear logical sides. Perfect example is the believe all women. Well,
no, but I just wanted to say, so
go ahead.
I haven't been perfect, but I've been arguing, discussing, talking with men for 2 decades. They don't want it. It's like, it's frustrating. Discussing hasn't worked. No, even my friends, it's like they always just want to be like, well, what about that? And it's
because there are always holes in every, like the believe all women. Yes. What or someone was saying believe all women. You can't just say believe all women.
Yes, but it's like
because Lena Dunham lied about her rape.
She didn't lie about her rape. She lied about defending a guy.
Nope, she lied about a rape. She said she was raped in college, and she was not.
I guess I don't know about that.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't know if allegedly.
Well, I don't know any of that. I just know that recently what pissed me off, because I love the show.
She defended that guy.
She defended that guy and then made up the defense, and it's just like
made up the defense.
She said that she lied. She said she had like 100% evidence that he didn't do it, and she said that was not true. And so that's what's annoying. I mean, Just because someone has Munchausen's and lies or like hypochondria doesn't mean we don't believe people when they say that they're sick.
Yeah.
It's like just because a few people lie does not mean we don't believe women. But also our legal system, justice system is not built for...
It's what Janine said. Janine said, have you been following Janine?
No.
You haven't seen the Janine controversy?
No.
She defended Louis
Okay.
on a podcast. And she said, you can't just say there needs to be evidence.
No.
She said
no, because Bert, what's happened is, first of all, it's a legal system built by men for men, and the juries are mostly men. Because if you've been assaulted or abused, and you like they kick you off the jury, and guess what? Most women have been.
Yeah.
So the legal, I don't care about legality because it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And for me, it's like if every single one of my girlfriends and me, everyone has been attacked in my life. What do I care what the fucking law says and if someone's legal or not? Like, that means nothing to me. Mm-hmm. I was assaulted on my birthday, pushed into my apartment, pushed against the wall. I didn't go to the cops because outside the door, basically I was sitting and it was my birthday after the bodega and I was kind of drunk and I was like, whoa. And someone was going to a nightclub and I was like, it's my birthday. He came over to talk to me, started kissing me. And I pushed him away. I was like, no, what are you doing? And he kept grabbing me. I was like, get away from me. And he wouldn't. And I was like, well, my friends are waiting for me. It's my birthday. How about you give me your number? If you give me your number, I'll just call you tomorrow. We can hang out. Like, I just have to go. So I took his number, put my code in, went into my building, pushed me against the wall, fucking it sucked. And then my friend's boyfriend at the time heard my voice and knew something was wrong, ran out of the apartment. This guy ran away. You guys are like, why didn't you go to the cops? And it's like, because I took his number. Nothing's going to happen. Yeah. And then at that same apartment, our building super climbed in our bedroom window on a ladder, was spying on us. I went to the cops, can't do anything because he wasn't jerking off or videotaping. So there was a man, elbows in, with keys to my apartment on my windowsill, and nothing could happen.
Yeah.
And so the fact of the matter is, like, the law and evidence and all that doesn't matter because it happens constantly.
I agree with you 100%.
And
by the way, I wouldn't. There's a lot of times I would not press charges just because I'm like, no, it's fucking
not worth
pointless.
It. Everyone's like, I mean, look at Dr. Ford. She testified for the government. She can't go back to work, and yet we're worried how it's going to ruin men's futures. I mean, even the fucking gymnast, physical therapist guy who molested over 100 girls. People are like, that judge was mean to him. It's like the whole gymnast.
Those people are fucking idiots. What? Don't but it's ignore that fucking idiot that said that. That's an idiot.
Sure, but it's constant about everyone. It's like you could be a full-on fucking rapist, and there'll be people defending you.
But what about like the Duke lacrosse team?
Okay.
Like
okay, what about the 50 friends of mine? Like, more.
No. I understand.
Men are more likely to be sexually assaulted than to be falsely accused.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't you guys worried about getting fucking raped? Like,
I'm just saying that it.
And guess what? Everything's fine. What is happening to the Duke people? I just don't understand why that's more important than constant assault.
It's not more important. It's not more important.
Then change the laws.
No, I think it's
test the rape kits.
How about this? It's
how about
equally important.
No.
You don't think fair? You don't think a judicial system is that everyone has a fair shake? You don't think that's?
I would rather focus on getting more fair juries to like poor people or people who can't afford bail than fucking. Yeah, that's.
I would. There's a lot I would change about our legal system. Least of which is worrying about
I'm
guys
not
being
talking
accused
about
of rape.
something that happens 2% of the time versus constantly.
I agree, but
it's not equal. I'm sorry.
Well, hold on. You're burning down the thing, going, well, fuck it.
I'm not saying fuck it. I'm saying I will never agree on this. It's just like I will not agree that focusing on false, because also. Guys don't talk about false accusations until you talk about rape. Anytime you bring up rape, the conversation immediately goes to false accusations.
False accusations across the board. I would. The number one thing I would change in our legal system is that it seems to literally be out to fuck black men. That is number one.
Yes.
When you look at Meek Mill, that is the perfect example of what is wrong with our judicial system, in my opinion.
I don't know the Meek Mill thing, but I agree with what you're saying. Obviously, not the Meek Mill, but like black people in jail.
And trust me when I say that what we need is a fair system that everyone gets, that the fairness and the evidence takes care of everyone across the board, starting with black men.
Yes.
Starting with black men, but including fucking the Duke lacrosse kids.
Okay, but what about like Brock Turner, who fucking raped someone, got 3 months?
That kid.
Why isn't he in jail?
That kid's he's got it much worse. Do you think he would
much worse than the girl he fucking raped?
Hold on. No. I'm not saying much worse than her. I'm saying his.
Good.
Hold on. Stop and let me answer the fucking question. Any human being would rather serve 5 years in jail anonymously and get out and restart their life than be where that kid is. He may not have gotten any time, but justice has been swift with that kid. That kid's life is inarguably, he will always be known as the guy that finger fuck. Yes. Yeah. I'm agreeing with you on this.
Okay.
But to say like, well, how come he didn't get jail time? I think he's been taken care of. I think that I would much rather, if I was that kid, I would much rather have said to the judge, let's just send me to jail for 5 years and I'll do the time, and let's not make it so that I will never get married. I will never have a job. No one's ever going to fall in love with that kid. He's fucking.
Of course they will.
No.
People marry serial killers in prison all the time.
But like, that's what I say about something like that. I think that was horrible, what he did.
Yeah, I just don't think the issues are equal, and I think we should work on, I don't know, testing all the rape kits. Even like the footage that came out, I think it was in Maryland, the police department, of like talking to rape victims and being like, ugh, this lying skank. Like, cops don't believe him either. I had a friend who got assaulted, and the cops told her since she was wearing a bathing suit not to take it further because she'll never win.
I think they're being, could you argue that they're just being pragmatic? They're just being,
sure, but I'm just saying,
they're going like, hey, listen, the system's fucked, just like Liza says, it's fucked. I wouldn't even take it further. It's a lot of fucking headache on your part, and I can already tell you from what I'm witnessing. What do you tell
people? Then, you know, how
the
can you...
The system is fuced.
Sure, but then it's like, then feminism is definitely needed. And,
yeah,
and
100%. No one's not saying feminism isn't needed. I think it's just saying that the conversation seems to be, in my opinion, a little one-sided of, shut the fuck up and listen. Whereas, but when you say that to someone, they immediately don't listen. You're losing a lot of guys. I believe you're losing a lot of guys that would just simply...
Get over yourselves. Listen, everything's for you. All the movies, everything is for you.
There are white guys that don't have good lives.
Of course.
Everything's for me. I have a really great life.
Yes.
But there are guys listening to this going, no, everything's not for me. I am getting fucked. I'm ugly. I can't fuck chicks. I have a shitty job. I'm fucking...
You know, one of my favorite things, I was on Nick DiPaolo's radio show, and someone called in and was like, inequality, what about all these women coming in with low-cut tops and getting hired for jobs when ugly men aren't getting jobs, and all these hot women? I'm like, well, what about the ugly chicks? And he was like, wait, what? And I go, well, what about the ugly women? I'm like, you're also hiring women because of their tits and not because of what they bring to a company, and then you're blaming them for using the tools they have to get it, where it's just like, yeah, you're ugly, there's ugly women, and I'm sure they have it worse.
I love one of my favorite things in the world is when I see a problem, I see a thing from the other side, and it blossoms for me. So the example is the Rams have added male cheerleaders. Now initially, my instinct was anti-progressiveness. Why are we doing this? This is all guys in this stadium, mostly guys.
Yeah,
and it's an old patriarchal thing of having girls cheer for the team, but it doesn't behoove us to see a guy, because we're not all gay men. There are very few, I'd imagine, in a football stadium. We're watching men hit men. We want to see women. And immediately, this is what my brain does every time. But this is what a comic's brain does. And this is why I will go to the mat for every comic always. I always stand by the comics. Is my comic brain goes, hold on. Let's watch the guy. See if he's any good. Like, see it. Let's see. And then I was like, he's a great dancer. Actually, he's better than all of those women, because all those women, all they had to do was have tits and an ass. They didn't have to dance. They didn't have to. Dancing wasn't you couldn't just have just great dancers out there with women of all body shapes. Men don't want that. They want hot women dancing, right? That's what a cheerleader is. And then I'm like, whoa, this guy he had to be the best dancer in the fucking room to make it as a guy on the squad. And now I'm watching him going, dude, these women suck. I want all men dancing.
And can I just say, I bet no one's mean to him. And I wonder how people are going to treat the new female ref.
She just refed last night.
I know. I would like to see what people say. I wonder if people are doing what you're doing.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for her.
Do you know how the cheerleaders are treated though, and how poorly they're paid, and all the rules and all that?
Horrifically.
Okay.
Yeah, horrifically. They make no money.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to be treated better and paid better.
I love how you automatically just see your agenda in that.
Always.
As opposed to,
I just
watch out for your
right.
jobs, ladies, because I would love to see a squad of dudes just ripping it. Just, this guy is so good.
What team is he on?
Rams.
Oh,
okay. I watch him. I've got my whole group that we sit together. Oh, we all watch him. We love him. Yeah. And I'm like, and there used to be my favorite girl cheerleader. Like my favorite, like I loved this girl. She's beautiful. He was dancing next to her last game I was at, and I was like, she is horrible. She's just a haircut and tits. That's all I'm into. But yeah, I love when I see something like fat shaming, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna fuck this up, but I think Lindy West did this. Lindy West, who's, by the way, another person I've asked to be on the podcast, and just across the board, she said no.
Yeah.
I DM'd her, I put her on Twitter, and she was like, yeah, I'm probably not, or something. It stinks. Just like Amanda Seales, I just assume I would love to have a conversation.
I think Amanda would. I think she likes to have conversations with people.
I don't want to fight with somebody. I would like to have a conversation.
She's better than me. Like, I probably yell and don't listen as much, but I think I don't know. I've watched her. Like, there was a woman who said she overheard something and went and had a. I think she is someone that likes. What happened? Basically, she was standing somewhere and overheard a woman on the phone complaining about like she was like a nurse or something. She's like, yeah, I had to go to a neighborhood. It was unsafe. There were blacks and Latinos everywhere. So she went up to her and goes, do you equate unsafe with just like blacks and Latinos? And kind of had a discussion with her, and it lasted a while. And then she went back to her hotel, and the woman walked in again, and they talked and hugged and whatever. But I think
I would love to talk to her.
I think she's someone that knows how to have a conversation. I do. And I don't know her that well personally, but I get a vibe that she would. I think
sometimes you get the only narrative you get out of these people online these days is talking into the phone, preaching. Yeah. And so you feel like, oh, they probably wouldn't listen.
Because I'm more dismissive. You're right. Like, as soon as I'm done, I'm like, nope, I don't agree. Like, I am.
Yeah, but
for certain topics, I'm just like, I don't want to hear it.
You have a very sibling kind of relationship. That's why when I say that when you go, there are male comics I hate, I go in my head, I'm like, I can't imagine that. Like, I always look at you, like every time I see you,
I've just been disappointed by a lot of them. I guess
you should be. I am too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But that's. There are a lot of disappointing.
And it's just little things that annoy me that all add up to the point where I'm just like, go away. Stop complaining. Stop kissing me on my cheek. Like, get away from me.
By the way.
And then when you ask them, please don't. Oh yeah, you think you're better. Like, I can't even be like, can you just? That's beyond my limits, my boundaries.
Thing in Tampa, and I didn't realize this until my daughters. I ran into some friends from Tampa, and we all kissed on the lips in Tampa. That's just Cuban. It's just like, so. I see a friend from Tampa, and I'm with the girls. We're in Clearwater, and one of my really good friends. I've known her most of my life, and she sees me, and I just forgot, and we kissed on the lips, and my daughters were like, Dad, you just kissed her. And I said, yeah, but that's what because my daughters won't kiss me on the lips. Yeah, my daughters won't kiss me. I have to hold her head to kiss her on the cheek because she pulls it away from me. And I understand that there's probably something in your head going, don't do that to your daughter, but fuck it, she's my daughter.
No, that's cute. No, but I like the new thing. I know a lot of the new like, you're all sensitive, but I do like this new thing of like, don't force your kids to hug any aunts or uncles.
Who said that? I just saw that.
I see it online, and I love that because my friend's
You said it. Did you say it on Instagram the other day?
I might have retweeted, but I don't think I said it.
I saw it.
I've been off Twitter, but no, like I went to my friends and they have a 3-year-old, and I went, can I get a hug? And she went, no. And I went, high five, and she went, no. And I went, all right. And I think about, but at the end of the day, I got a nice hug from her. But it is this thing of like, we expect teens and all these with the R. Kelly, it's like, tell girls. And I don't know. I kind of like that we don't force our daughters and sons and kids to hug people they don't want to hug. I think it's cool because they're probably getting an intuition too of like, I don't want to be touched right now, and that's a valid thing to reinforce in kids of like, don't be touched if you don't want to touch. Fuck this grandma. Why is she aggressive to kiss you?
Hating having to kiss my grandmothers. Like, I remember being like, oh God.
And then it's
and that's
weird.
And that's natural. And then it's weird. We all do it, and we all feel that way. Very few kids are like, I can't wait to kiss this person. Isla has my youngest had to do Proverbs. And she's dyslexic. She's out of the box thinker. She's weird brain. And she didn't study for it, so she just guessed the endings. So they tell you the first one, like you can lead a horse to water, and then she would just guess the other part. But if you give a horse too much water, it's going to look fat, and nobody wants that. And so, like, where there's smoke, and she wrote, there's a log. Like, the grass is always greener when you water it. Like, that's the way her brain works. But one of the best ones she had, I'll tell you the other. These are the two's company, three's a party. That was another one she had. Don't bite the hand that's brown. That was another one. But the best one was children should be seen and not touched.
Yes.
And she hates being touched. She can't get love from that child. She does not want to, like, she doesn't cuddle. Like, she'll cuddle with my wife, like, but she will not. I don't think I've ever gotten affection from her recently. But I'm cool with that. I want her to be happy.
Yeah.
But I still want her to be open. Like, we bully her into hugging us. Like,
but I don't know. Maybe it's because I know you. I think that's cute and great. But I don't know. I like the new thing of, like, let your kids not touch people they don't want to.
Yeah, it is weird because you go, hey.
Because now I'm a grown up and I have a hard time telling people like that. I don't like that. And then when you do, they yell at you and take it personal. And it's weird. But, like, yeah, we should teach people and everyone to speak their minds earlier.
What if we say that is cultural. Like I said, in the Cuban
100%.
Cuban culture.
Yeah, I'm Russian. We're, like, cold.
What?
Yeah, we're Russian. We're cold.
Did you kiss your parents on the lips?
I don't think so.
Did you?
I really don't.
Do you kiss your dad like when you see him now?
No.
Do you hug him?
My parents have told me I love you less than 10 times in my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, now that they're older, they text it more and they say it, but wasn't raised that way, so I get fully uncomfortable.
Really?
It was only when I was, like, leaving town or something dramatic. Like, I didn't get I love yous or hugs.
Oh, I got I love you. I'm proud of you. I got kisses. I had to kiss my dad on the lips every night when I came home.
No, my dad will not compliment me.
Not on the lips. I had to kiss him on the cheek.
He talks about me. So, like, to my face, he's not very kind. And then my mom always says he's, like, brags or carries newspapers that I'm in and, like, look at my daughter. But to me, he'll be like, why haven't you been on TV in a while? Or, like, wow, this time was shorter than last time. You know, stuff like that. So what if we say, like,
we are mandating white culture when a black guy or a Cuban guy Cuban comic comes up and gives you a kiss on the cheek, and you go, don't do that. Yeah. You're mandating, but
no, it's my butt. I could just say, I don't feel comfortable. That has nothing to do with you. Go kiss everyone else.
Yeah.
And there's some people I feel comfortable doing that with, and I'm allowed to decide, you know, but I hate that there are comics that hug me and then they'll pronounce my name wrong. And it's like, we've never even had lunch. I don't know you. You don't even know my name. Yeah. Why are my tits pressed against you? I don't like that.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you. So yeah, if someone hugs and kisses me on the cheek and I go, hey dude, I don't really like that, the response should be, oh, okay, my bad. I won't do that again.
My automatic go-to is, why would you ever kiss someone on the cheek if you didn't know they already liked that?
No, this comic once did that to me. And I said, oh, I don't know you like that. And he was like, flipped out, started yelling at me. I won't even say it. And I was like, okay, like so I've seen him since. It's annoying. So this last time I saw him coming. So I faced the bar. So to be fully on the bar, so he wouldn't touch me, he hugged me from behind. And I'm like, why are you touching me? Yeah. So then I did my set. He hugged me on stage and it's like, fuck you. You're not even my friend. Like, I don't like it. Like, Artie will hug me and it's like, I'm happy to be hugged by Artie Fuqua, you know, but I don't even know you. So then after my set, I'm sitting there. He comes up to me, hugs me while I'm sitting again, kisses me on my cheek. And I went, and he went, oh yeah, you don't like that. Well, you know what, Liza, there's one of you and hundreds of women. So whatever. And he walked away from me. And it's just like, it's exhausting to be a bitch. Let me just say that. It's exhausting to constantly be on the defensive, to constantly argue.
Oh, that needs to be a t-shirt. It's exhausting to be a bitch.
It's exhausting to explain myself, what bothers me. And sometimes you're just like, there's a regular at the, and he came to talk to me at the club, and he was just like touching my lower back. And I wish I just said like, I don't like that. But I was like, oh, he comes here all the time. I'm sure he means well. And I didn't say anything, but I hated it. And it's not abuse. I'm not saying he needs to be thrown to jail and lose his job.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel weird even telling him, but it's my body. Like, why can't I just be like, oh, don't touch me. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And like, this dude, it's like all my body language was like, please don't touch me.
Here's what's interesting.
And I have to be more assertive because people assume that I'm assertive, but like, I'm exhausted sometimes.
I don't like confrontation. So, but there was a female comic that was talking very sexually at the store, and it was making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I just made a flippant joke of like, hey, we're at work and this Me Too culture. We can't be, oh, shut the fuck up, Bert. Are you serious? And then all of a sudden I got attacked because I was uncomfortable with what she was saying.
Yeah.
For standing up for myself, I got attacked saying she was saying women can do whatever the fuck they want because you've been doing this to us our whole life. And I went, hold on. I was just saying I'm uncomfortable. Like I was like saying, hey, we're at work. Let's throw up some walls. It's okay to throw up walls. I don't do this to you. Yeah. I don't do this to any women. I never talk sexually to any fucking women.
Yeah.
Like, I don't touch people. Like, I'm like, fucking
I guess,
Jesus.
no, that's annoying, and you're allowed to be uncomfortable and someone should stop. What I've seen with these jokes is like someone will hug me and be like, oh, is this okay for the Me Too? And it's like, it is.
Did you just do Keith Robinson?
All of them. It's like, oh, can I do this? It's like you're belittling a thing that's actually real, and you know that we're tight and we can stop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're uncomfortable, so that's why I feel like if she would get defense, I don't know.
There are problematic dudes, there are problematic women.
Yes.
And then there's good dudes and there's good women.
Yes.
And like I was with a good dude at a radio station. This is one of my favorite. This is right when Me Too came out, you know? And a saleswoman walked in and one of the radio hosts was talking pretty aggressive about sex stuff or whatever, and I was like, hey, I think we're supposed to tone it down in today's culture. Like I wasn't joking, I was being serious.
Yeah.
A woman walked in,
yeah,
and he goes, oh no, she's cool, we could all just come in her mouth right now. And the woman went, and me and this other guy looked at each other and go, I think this is exactly what the movement's about. And this woman just was like, sure, you could all come in my mouth, and just walked away like, no one's listening to me. I've talked about, with the guy I sat next to, every time we see each other, we talk about that one fucking moment. It was like, oh. So as I'd say, in that room, half the guys were bad, half the guys were good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the majority of guys are bad. I think the majority of guys, the majority of people that aren't going through what anyone goes through don't know. You can never know what someone's going through.
Yeah.
So I think the majority of guys just don't know. I think also in that majority, when they feel like they're the problem, that they're being attacked, even if they are the problem and they are being attacked on the right place, even if they're being attacked for the wrong reason, they're just shrapnel's hitting them, they get defensive. I think most people get defensive when you go, but you're the problem. Then you go, but I'm not. Like if I go, but you're the racist. I saw your tweets. You go, I'm not racist. I can't defend myself. All I can do is apologize and learn. But I'm not, because you want to go, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And you are a good person. I think you're important. This will be. I'm sure maybe you feel this way, but I think people like you are important. I know Ari thinks you're important. To have someone like you who has.
But it's annoying because I did Ari's podcast and like his fans hate me.
Yeah.
They're so mean. And so I'm assuming when you post this, that'll be like, this dumb bitch, it's a comedy podcast.
No.
I'm always like, oh, people are going to hate me. That's why I had to turn off all the notifications on Twitter and all that.
I think most people.
But it is because with all the Louis stuff, people have been telling me like, why are you still performing at the Cellar if you care, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm not performing there and getting awesome spots and money because of him. But also there was one night, and I talk about this a lot, 3 dudes in a row had Me Too jokes and how annoying they are and how hard it's been for men. And it's like, I better fucking go up after them,
Yeah.
If there's only one woman on the lineup, like, I want to be there. I want to go up. I've been doing this a long fucking time, and it's just frustrating and overwhelming.
It's tough being a bitch. Was that what you said?
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting being
It's
a
not
bitch.
fun to like at the table, especially. It's like I disagree, and I had to just stop arguing. Well, I saw Ava DuVernay speak at this Miss Foundation event.
I know who that is.
Yeah, director, like A Wrinkle in
no, I
Time,
don't know who
and
that is.
Selma. But she said something, and it really hit me, and I liked it. And she was just like, they keep all these people like. She was talking about race stuff too, so I don't want to like fully take it on, but it's this thing of like they keep us busy dealing with all this inequality and racism and thinking about it and dealing with it and going around it, that we don't have time to create and be badasses and work. Stop arguing, stop giving in, and go do your shit. And that was huge to me. Like, I'm sick of arguing with dudes at the table. I'm sick of convincing you inequality is real. Like, I want to go make shit with like-minded people. There's a dance class I love in LA, and every time I go there, I'm like, I get reminded, like, oh yeah, there's people like me. This is great. I need to focus on this and have fun with my friends and my nieces and nephews and comics I love, and not waste time trying to argue with people who don't want to hear it.
I think
I'm going to write jokes about it. I'm going to be fun.
Write jokes about it.
But yeah.
The biggest way you are put on this planet to affect change is by writing poignant jokes that make men and women laugh alike and see the other side of the fence. I think
so.
That's all there is, all that you can do. I think where we get lost.
Yeah, we're comics, and it's like, I don't want to write an essay. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to do conferences. Like, this has been a chat, but like, I want to write jokes about it.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. I have a hard time. I don't get too political on stage, meaning I don't tackle like political issues, only because I don't think you need another white guy going like ranting and raving about free speech or how come I can't say the N-word, or like just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Part of me goes, there are guys that do that. They do it well. They're guys that are really talented talking about politics, liberal and conservative. Mm-hmm. It's just not me. If I tell you a story, like I have a joke about having a gun. Yeah. It's a joke. It's intended, number one, to make you laugh.
Yeah.
That's all. If you walk away pulling out any sort of like of my politics, you misread it.
Yeah.
But if you walk away from it and go and you form your own opinion, then that's how it should work. You're an American. Yeah. You have a job. I trust that you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah. To me, it's funny because the people. I mean, this is a generalization, but usually the dudes that yell about freedom of speech are the ones that hate me the most and hate my jokes.
Oh no.
It's always that. It's like, we should say what we want, and then it's like, hey, not all white men are the same. It's like, I thought you're all for freedom of speech. Like, the audience decides, but usually they're the dudes that are the most mad and like tell me I'm not funny and stuff. And it's like, you're the one who wants like everyone to say whatever they want on stage. Let me do it.
I think you're awesome.
Thank you. I think you're great.
No, I do, and it's interesting.
Excited.
I think you're an interesting.
Because socially, you intimidated me a little bit. I don't think we get to. You're like so fun and wild, and I like shrink up and get reserved a little sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're like too cool.
Oh, I'm not cool.
You guys are the cool crew.
Who?
I feel like you and your friend group are the cool crew. Yeah.
I'm the fucking
no,
dork.
you guys got cool. You're cool.
I'm not cool.
You're the popular. I think you guys are the popular crew of
Wait,
comedy.
who's popular? I just remember.
Maybe it's just you and Tom.
I'm definitely cooler than Tom. I remember.
He was one of my heroes.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the first people I ever featured for at a club in Peoria, Illinois. And I learned so much from him that weekend on how to treat people, how to do comedy, how to be chill. There was barely an audience there. He was fun. Every set was different. We went to breakfast. He like taught me he had been doing it 10 years. And I don't know, he just taught me so much about how to behave and act and do comedy. And then last year I got to open for him in front of 3,000 people. And I was like, damn, so cool. Because I think people get impatient to be successful. Mm-hmm. And watching someone as good as him not be resentful or mean or bitch about stuff when I opened for him was a great lesson. I'll
tell you what else I think is really cool about a guy like Tom, and I think I'll include myself in this and all my friends, is it's really cool to know that like you had a good you went out on the road with Tom and he wasn't a dog. He didn't try to fuck you. He didn't try to fuck other chicks. He was just a cool person who was like looked at you as a peer. Mm-hmm. And was like, hey, this is how the business goes,
Yeah.
It's really I never really brought a ton of women on the road with me, but the only person I had consistently ever was Nikki Glazer.
Yeah.
And I said we were talking about it the other day. She said, you know, what's amazing is like, you were a really good guy. It was about the work. It wasn't about.
She helped me a lot when I was younger too.
I never once partied with her. I don't know if she was drinking at the time. I know I was drinking, but like I was always like, keep it. I was the same way with Amy. I was always friends with her, but not like, you know. But. Yeah,
recently someone brought a woman comic to open for them. And he's like, yeah, because the host is a dude and dudes. I thought it would be better, you know, a good thing to do. I was like, yeah, duh, that's what you should do. And he goes, I mean, but she's funny. And I go, no one denied she was funny. I'm like, no one thinks you bring a chick just because. Like, there's tons of funny ones. But yeah. But I understand when you're on the road, you also just want to bring people you get along with and have fun with. I'm less judgmental of people and who they bring, because if you're on the road for a long time, you want to be with someone you are tight with.
Well, I did the opposite. For the majority of what I've been touring lately, is that I always wanted to support local comedy.
Okay.
So I was always like, you know what? Who do you guys have that's funny? Put them on that week. So that you get to, and I ended up meeting a lot of people that way and making new friends. But it's a great way, because like a lot of the comedy scenes, I mean, everyone's bringing their own feature. So if you let everyone bring their own feature, how is the local
every clock in here broken?
Yes. Yes, and my watches too.
What time is it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay,
12.
Cool. No,
we should wrap
good.
this up. I got to take a shit.
Okay, cool. I've had to pee for so long.
Wait, can I tell you that? Can I end on this?
Yeah, I want.
This is the last thing I'll say, and this is where if we ever disagree, it was on this one moment when we were playing that heads up thing. We had all just gotten high. And we were in the green room.
High. But that's what I mean. Like you guys, you were all drunk, I think. I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
Right? Was that it?
No, I
wasn't as fun. You guys are just cool. Like I felt really like I was the only girl at that fest.
Really?
Yeah, that was annoying. Sean Patton was complaining about how unfair it is for white guys. I'm like, truly, I'm the only girl here, and there's only one other black dude, and there's 15 of you, Sean. Like, you were so crazy.
I was laughing so hard because in Heads Up, when you play Heads Up, it put your phone on your head, and it says something. It's like,
it'll say Independence Day for the movie, and you have to be like, Will Smith, aliens.
Yeah, and so she would put it on her head, and I would just say what it was, and I was high, and it was making you frustrated, and you're like, no, you're playing it wrong. And I kept saying, no, I'm playing it right, because it's making me laugh, so I'm playing the game right. And you're like, no, you're playing it wrong.
No, I really flipped out. I think I thought
you did, but in the funniest way possible. And so I kept going, no, but you're getting angry, and it's making me laugh. So I think I'm playing it right. And I kept trying to argue that point, and I fucking laughed so hard that fucking night. It was one of the hardest.
Have you played that game with your kids or with other friends before?
No, Heads Up. I'm going to get it right now. I'll play it with my daughters.
It's $1.99. I think you can swing it, but it's such a fun game, and it's nice because like sometimes in an amusement park, or if you're waiting in a long line, or you're waiting for like deep dish pizza and it's taking an hour and a half, like you could play Heads Up so quickly.
I got it. I just bought it. Hey, listen.
So this is
here's what I'll say.
Yes.
If there's ever anything in this you want taken out, I'll take it out. I think that'll be pretty hard. But if there's anything in this you want taken out, I'll take out. I will always have your back. I will always have your back.
Oh, that's so good.
I think you're a fantastic person.
Thank you.
I think your perspectives on life are important, and I think there needs to be more of that in comedy. More different of opinion. Yes. Just because, I mean, who the fuck wants to follow everyone having the same goddamn joke?
True.
So.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you.